Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Online Racing Network. And here we're going to be hosting Project 4's official Free Practice 2 test session. Proud to say this is my first live broadcast for Online Racing Network, and I'll be commentating through this 3-hour test session. There'll be drivers dropping in and dropping out of this test session, so we'll see how they've progressed from the last test session. And I think we had last time out, it was Kyle Power who topped the testing times, not quite getting into the 1 minute 59s, and then we had Danny Henney. He was also on a 2-minute flat along with Stelio Canto. So from the last test session I was using all their real names. That was just what Project 4 wanted. They wanted me to use their real names, but as from now we will be using their PSN names. So apologies if I slip in and out of their real names now and again, because I do know these guys personally, so it is tricky for me to see sometimes what exactly a slip of the tongue, let's say, with their real names. So we have Robbo Baggins out now in the Ginetta. He proved to be really fast actually in Free Practice 1 and surprised a lot of people in this Ginetta, because the Ginetta's got quite a lot of grip round here, and is he shocked a few people. And the guy who's in the Ginetta also is Alex Van Gien, and he was pleasantly surprised to see the Ginetta go so fast around here. So Alex will be joining us. Oh, actually, in fact, Alex is in the pit lane already, so he has joined us early. I thought he'd be a bit later than this, so it's good to see Alex here already. So we'll go straight to Alex and see where he is. He's in the pit lane still. And here we have Maverick. He was second fastest in Free Practice 1, and I believe he was literally less than a tenth, I think, off Power Pog. So he's going to be determined to get a 59-second lap out of this. I know he's done some private testing on his own. He has told everyone he's got a 59 before, but officially I've not seen it. So officially, and he's off again. So Danny's got great one-lap pace. Maverick, I should say, has got great one-lap pace, but for a whole hour's race, which will be held on the 28th of May. So if you want to come back on the 28th of May, we will hold the official GT3 Round 2 race here at Brno. We'll have a practice session of 30 minutes. There's a 15-minute qualifying, and there will be a 1-hour race. We will see how they get on with that. So that's the 28th of May. That will be held at 8 o'clock. And Online Racing Network will hold that live stream for you throughout the night, so you can join us and see exactly what Project 4 drivers are up to and what they have to offer. So we have PowerPog, who's now joined our session. 5 guys out here, 2 on track, 3 in the pit lane. Robbo Baggins is looking rather smooth. He looked very smooth in the last session as well, so he seems to have got the sweet spot with this Ginetta. And I've not seen him. I think I saw him probably go off a couple of times at the start of Free Practice 1. We had a 4-hour session there, very tiresome session from 7 to 11 o'clock that was. This one is from 8 o'clock tonight, so we've started 5 minutes ago. This will go through at 11 o'clock tonight, so feel free to drop in and out as you need. Ask any questions on the live stream. I'll try and answer them as much as I can. We'll also try and get some driver interviews and driver hot laps as they're going around the track, so we should be able to get live driver comments as they're going around the track. And this is with PowerPog now, so I'm hoping to get PowerPog and Maverick in the commentary box here while they're driving around at the same time, to give us an insight of exactly what they're doing, where they're going, and how they're getting on. Stelio Canto on the track now, so I was trying to use a application, a Project Cars application, which should be working, so I could get everyone's individual sector times, etc. up. It doesn't seem to be connecting quite just yet, so we will just go on the split times that we have on this app at the moment, on the Project Cars. overlay, which I'll try and show you. But from free practice 1, we seem to have a bit of issues with the split sector times, which is usually shown at the top of the screen, but for the last session, for some reason, we didn't have any split sectors. So I have been trying to get the Project Cars dash to work to see if I can get all split sector times up. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be liking me, so we'll do the best we can with what we got. See if anyone's on a hot lap at the moment. So Robbo Baggins, yeah, he's just put in a 2:03.1. So just to give you an idea, the fastest lap times we saw on light fuel loads, we had a 2-minute flat. So I think it was around a 2:01, I think. So almost dipping into the 59s. So just to give you an idea, and that was qualifying pace. I think race pace, we're looking around about 2-minute 1s to 2-minute 2s for race pace. We'll see what Robbo's running fuel-wise. I can get. So he's running race fuel, so that's actually a really good lap for a race fuel time. So this Ginetta is looking rather handy, even on heavy fuel loads. There was questions asked whether the Ginetta was very good on heavy fuel. Excuse me. There was questions asked whether it was ever any good on heavy fuel, because we saw Robbo Baggins go out last time on light fuel, and he was surprisingly fast in that Ginetta. So he went out on heavy fuel, and I only saw him do a 2-minute 5, so there was a bit of a sigh of relief from the other drivers, let's say, when they saw that. But straight away he's done a 2:03.1 on heavy fuel, on race fuel. So interesting to see Robbo not having any issues with spinning and still got great pace. On the other hand, Power Pog, we saw a little spin from him at the beginning there, so maybe he's struggling a little bit to do it, just to adapt. These drivers haven't been on track. Apart from Maverick, I think Maverick's done a few laps. Apart from Maverick, a few haven't been on for a week and a half now, so they're probably just adapted to the track state. Obviously the track's still very green. And this will be Danny on his Maverick, apologise. As Robbo Baggins does a 2:01.9 on heavy fuel. So really fast. Maverick, I believe, is just coming around the final sector here. So we'll see what he can put in. He's on heavy fuel-ish. Just touches the curbs and goes a little bit wide, and it just flicks that car off to the right-hand side. So he's probably lost a few tenths there, coming into the final corners here now. And yeah, he's got quite a bit of oversteer while under braking there. So let's see what he can pop in here. I envisage around a 2:02. 2:01.8, so just dipping into the 2:01s there, with Power Pog just behind doing a 2:02.2. So close lap times at the moment, but obviously still getting used to it. Stelio Canto now coming around the final. So he's also on heavy race fuel, so come around the final using all the curbs, getting nicely on the curves there, revving the guts out of that Cadillac. 2:06.5, so he's probably made a mistake somewhere, because we know Stelio is much quicker than that around here. So probably made a little mistake out there somewhere, but Robbo Baggins is now possibly on his second hot lap here. Maybe they're doing some tyre. It'd be interesting to see who does long runs, who does tyre testing, and so forth here, because Robbo Baggins seems to have a car that's set up really well at the moment, so he might just go straight into a long fuel run and run those tyres down to see how many laps he can get out with them. It's debatable whether these drivers are going to 0-stop or 1-stop or even 2-stop. I very much doubt you'll see a 2-stop in this race. I think odds on there's going to be quite a few drivers doing 1-stops, and you may even see a couple of 0-stops in this. As for the previous round, we saw at the Circuit of the Americas we had some 0-stops in there, and the 0-stopper won the race. So it'd be interesting to see how we get on with tyre wear around Brno. And we'll see. So that's Robbo Baggins, Power Pogs, and Maverick coming around the final sector here. We just check on these times. So they've only put in the one time at the moment. So Maverick will be going for another hot lap here. He tends to put in a few hot laps before he comes into the pits. And and Alex Van Gien still sitting in the pit lane there, so we've not seen anything from Alex at the moment. As soon as Alex comes out the pits, we'll focus on him and see how he gets on. Danny going very, very wide there. 201.5, so he probably lost a tenth on that last corner there. We've got Power Pog in the background coming across the line with also a 201.3. So these two, Power Pog and Maverick, are really, there's nothing to choose between them, but they're both in the same cars, so all comes down to setup and driving style. These two have extremely different driving styles. Power Pog is very, very smooth, while Maverick is an extremely aggressive driver. He tends to, and we watched an onboard with Maverick compared to Power Pog. Then they're the two drivers I try and like to get in for a live chit chat about their lap whilst they're going round. So I'll try and bring that to you when I can, as Maverick comes into the pit lane now, and Robbo Baggins is off on another lap here. Let's just see what he done on his final lap, his last lap. Robbo Baggins there. So his last lap actually went a bit quicker on his last lap. I didn't see that, but he did go a lot quicker on his last lap, which was good to see. So he is still pushing hard on heavy fuel. So these three at the top here, less than half a second separating the top three on heavy fuel load. So really, really fast. We'll just see if Robbo Baggins goes around for another lap. Yeah, he's going for another lap, so let's just ride on board with Robbo Baggins. You can always get away with going quite wide on this corner. I've noticed there's some very different driving lines going through the first corner there. You can take it tight and hug the apex and just white line it all the way round if you want, or you can. The preferred driving line is approaching the first corner from the outside, missing the apex completely and then cutting in at the last moment to just get that good swing onto the straight, carrying maximum speed down that straight. But it is a very, very opportune overtaking point into turn one there, so it's yeah, we should keep an eye on that come race day, where you'll see plenty of dive bombs and overtaking moves into turn one there. Very smooth at the moment, very smooth on the throttle from Robbo Baggins here, so no real lead foot going on there, so it's very gradual throttle application. So it seems as though that's the way forward with the Ginetta. I hear a lot of other drivers, they seem to be quite lead footed on the old loud pedal, and the back end does tend to come round quite often, I'd say. But Robbo Baggins is looking very consistent. He looked very consistent last practice and very consistent this practice already, with only 12-13 minutes gone. Last sector's very tricky, uphill. You need to keep tight here and then take a good swing onto the right hander there, clipping the apex. Try not to run too wide, because that tends to get you a bit wayward and a bit messy. Carry as much speed as you can up the hill here. Blind corner, left hand here, where that green hut is on the right hand side there. You have to choose that as your braking point and turn in, as it's very difficult to see the apex there on the left hand side. Try to avoid the curbs here, because that can suck you onto the gravel there. And Robbo Baggins coming down to 202.6 that lap, so there's a lap with Robbo Baggins there. Power Pog still out on the track, coming around the final sector, up the hill to the blind crest. Let's see what Power Pog can put in. Can he improve on his 201.3? Not quite. So he's still on his long fuel run, long tyre stint. So 202.0. So this is the pace I was talking about. So you're looking at 201s to 202s for race pace here. Early 201s if you want to get away from the pack, and then settle into a nice 202 rhythm for the remainder of the race. As I say, the race is going to be an hour long, and so we class that as a mini endurance race, let's say. And it just tests the driver's ability to manage tyres, and whether they push hard for the first stint, come in and change tyres completely up to them. Hopefully we'll see split strategies during this race, as Carl makes a little bit of a mistake there. Again, I think he just clipped that curb. Alex Van Gien still in the pit lane there. Stelio Canto, I believe he's coming through the first sector. Let's just bring the map up and just double check. Yeah, he's just got through the first sector, so he's coming onto the downhill section. Now, so we'll check how he's getting on. It would be nice to see these split sector times working above, but it's doesn't seem to be working for some reason. So I'd love to get that fixed for you, but I cannot get you live timings in split sectors unless I get my app working. So I'm desperately, while I'm talking to you, trying to get my application working. Two drivers on track, 3 drivers on track now as Maverick just leaves the pit lane. Powerpog still out on a lap. Stelio Canto's now been out for 5 laps. Stelio Canto tends to be one of Project 4's drivers who does the most laps. He does race runs, he does all sorts, and he tests his long stints out. So he does tend to come away with completing the most laps. I think he completed 50 laps, 50 or 60 laps I think in the last session. To everyone else's 30 to 35 roughly laps, so he completed a lot more laps than everybody else. Stelio Canto is very consistent. He's got a car which is clearly a bit underpowered compared to the Lamborghinis here, so he does extremely well to put it where he's going, and he is known for his late braking as well. So come race day, let's watch out for Stelio Canto, because he's very good on the brakes, and he can, if he wants to send it down the inside of you, then be prepared to see that Cadillac come flying down the inside of you. In a safe way, let's hope. So 202.7 there for Stelio on that last lap. So he's just getting into the rhythm now. Powerpog is on sector 2. I'll just go to the comment section of the YouTube and just check the comments and see if I can answer anything for you. Evening, Jamie. Thank you very much. Alex Van Gien's here as usual. Alex will be the highest commenting person, I should think, on our live stream tonight. He likes his comments, so expect to see a bit from Alex tonight. As we see Powerpog just getting a little bit out of shape in sector 2 there, coming up the hill into the final corners here now. You do see a lot of drivers getting into that corner there, and the back end gets very leery. Lots of oversteer there from Kyle, so maybe just needs to dial that out just a tad. As I can't see this being an improvement on his 201. That's a 202.3, so he's probably lost a whole second just in those 2 corners as he comes across into the pit lane. And we have a new driver which we've not seen do any laps around here at the moment, and that's Whitehouse. So D Whitehouse, he will be monitored by myself closely because I've not seen him do anything around here at the moment. So that'll be interesting to see how he gets on with his first laps around here, and how little grip I think you'll find out there, because there is very little amount of grip out there I think to start the session off with, only 20 minutes deep into the session of a 3-hour session. The sun is blazing, and that's going to make conditions tricky, especially on a green circuit like this at the moment, as Alex Van Gien is still in the pit lane. Coming through the final sector, who's in front of Stelio here? Possibly Maverick. Yeah. Nope. Okay, so we have Robbo Baggins now. So it's saying he's 4 minutes down on his best laps. I'm guessing this is his out lap. And he, once again, he's running 77 litres. So Robbo Baggins is running a race fuel load. So we'll just see how he gets on with this, because he has been in the pits once, so he's obviously got some fresh rubber on that car now. A couple of little connection issues there. As Maverick is close behind now. And he's just pulled 11 through as Maverick does a 201.2 on heavy fuel. So that's, I believe that's his fastest lap. Yes, 201.210 is Maverick's fastest lap. Carl Power 201.3 and Robbo Baggins does a 201.8. So 0.6 separating the top three, 1.5 separating the top four, with 5 drivers who haven't touched the circuit yet. As it looks like we have a new driver on the circuit in the name of Whitehouse. So we will keep an eye on him and see how he gets on. We'll do a quick onboard. So this is his first time he's on the track here. So he'll be feeling how his car is, how it's handling. He's got 50 litres on board, so a decent, healthy amount of fuel on. I'm gauging around 50 litres is probably 45 minutes worth of fuel. I'd say 50 litres is. So we'll come back to Whitehouse once he's on his flying lap to see how he's coping. We'll go to Robbo Baggins, who is ahead of the train of drivers who are on their fast laps. So we'll just have a look and see how Robbo Baggins gets on. He's on a 201.8 at the moment, so he seems to be he's found a sweet spot, I think, for this Ginetta, and no doubt Alex Van Gien, when he leaves the pit lane, or maybe that's what he's doing now, maybe he's loading, maybe he's asked Rob for his setup and he's loading the setup now, maybe Alex is doing. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on for sure. So we're hoping to have probably 3 or 4 more drivers in this session yet, but as I say, they'll be in and out of this session. Let's go to trackside. I do like a good trackside shot. So again, just remind myself, running full fuel. See what Robbo Baggins can do here. So he's 4 seconds down apparently on his lap time, so he probably had to lift off. Oh, he had to lift off for Maverick, didn't he, down the straight? So this will be Robbo Baggins' fast lap. So we'll come back to him in a second once we figure out who has just gone past the start and finish line. Apologies for this. So we have Simon, Cy7 Moon. We'll call him Simon for the benefit of the live stream, because saying Cy7 Moon would be a bit of a mouthful. So Simon is coming around to start his fast lap. He was 4 hours into the session last time. He done every single minute of free practice 1 a week and a half ago, and he stayed till the very end. He was the first driver on track and the last one to leave. So again, I'll remind the drivers, remind the viewers, apologies, to say that he is actually using a pad. Simon does own a wheel, but he does seem to be quicker on a pad, as he loses a lot of grip there going into turn 1. But he does use a pad, so full respect to Simon for using the pad as he comes into the pits to change something, clearly. Not enjoying what he's out on there. As Maverick is on his hot lap, and I believe that's Stelio Canto ahead. Yep. See how these get on. Be interesting to see who puts the first as Danny runs wide into the corner. So it'll be interesting to see who runs the light fuel load first and see who puts in or tries to put in a 159, because I know there's 3 or 4 drivers here that are desperate to get a 1:59 round here. We've seen very low 2-minute flats, but not one has done a 1:59 yet. We've heard drivers who have done 1:59s, but as for me personally, seeing them do 1:59, I've not seen one yet. So it'll be interesting to see who can do it first and if anyone else can do it. I know Maverick is looking extremely fast for a 1:59, and possibly Powerpog. So Powerpog here is looking good for a 1:59 if he can hook up his laps. He's actually on light fuel loads now, so he's probably already going for a 1:59. So let's just stay on board with Powerpog and see what he's doing. He might even be on his fast lap now. Keep an eye on his lap time. 2-minute 1.3. He's 1.1 seconds off at the moment, so he may have made a bit of an error there. So we'll just stay with him at the moment and just watch his lap round. This is going to be a an attempt. He's gone very deep into turn 1 there, so the back end of the car getting really loose, so he's probably lost a decent time there. But turn 1 is very forgiving because you can go quite deep into turn 1 and still regain a bit of a mistake, get the front turned in and regain that time very quickly. So turn 1, very long sweeping corner. It does look like these cars go into the corner with a lot of oversteering. I've noticed that with Kyle's car. I'm not sure if that's just the way the game is, but at the moment it does look like... Come on, camera. Thank you. It does look like when he goes into the corners, the back end just steps out. Maybe that's just the camera angle, but at the moment it's looking a bit twitchy, Kyle's car. Sorry, Power's car. Very, very twitchy at the moment, the rear end. So he's got the front nose pointed in, lovely, but he just can't get enough grip at the rear end, which I think is probably losing him a bit of time. But he'll probably silence me in a minute, in the next 1 minute or so, and I'm pumping at 1 minute 59, and then I'll say no more. So we'll just see. We'll see how he gets on. Let's ride on board with Power Pog for the final part of the lap here. Let's take his speedo off. Let's listen to his throttle application around here. Oh, he's hit those tyres on the inside. That's not going to be good. That's sent him into the gravel. That's absolutely wrecked his lap time and probably given him a lot of front aero damage there. And he was 0.4 of a second up as well, so he was definitely looking at a 2-minute flat there. But hitting those tyres will not have done his front end any good, so he'll probably have to pit after this lap for sure. I mean, he's already wrecked his lap here. He may go faster. Yeah, he's pulling in the pit lane there. He completely wrecked his lap, so that's a shame to see. But these things happen, but that's what testing's all about, I guess. Pushing the limits. As we see Maverick in the exact same part of the corner, and you see them tyres are all over the place, all over the track. Tyres on the left-hand side there. I'm sure they'll get replaced once the session continues, or someone's just going to pump them out the way, so they'll be out the way. These tyres are nasty though. I don't know if they're there in real life, maybe they are, but it does really give you some horrible aero damage if you hit those tyres. So no doubt during the race we'll see the tyres as Maverick does a 2-minute flat, 0.5, so already very close to a 59 there from Maverick. So as I was saying, the tyres are very, very dangerous. You touch them and you get some serious aero damage, and that's basically a race wrecker, let's say. So you have to fix the damage with it's going to be a long old pit stop. As we see David Whitehouse here, D Whitehouse, he's done a 2:04.5 out the box, a very decent lap time there, regardless of fuel loads. He's down 40 litres as well, so he's done a couple of laps now. So I'm guessing he went out around about 45 to 44 litres, and very decent lap time for a race fuel. That's basically half race fuel, I should think. Very wide just before going up the hill there, but I think he's on his slow down lap here. So yeah, very decent lap from Whitehouse there. Does a bit of GT3 in other series as well. I think he does a lot in another league. So he knows these GT3 cars well. He's coming to the pits, I think, yeah. So Whitehouse also in the pit lane, so now 4 drivers in the pit lane, and I think Simon was just crossing the line there. Simon, we'll keep an eye on Simon here. He's not put a lap in yet, so he's just come around the final sector. We'll see what Simon can put in. He's got fair fuel in, but it's not quite race fuel. Okay, that's Simon's out lap, so we'll just stay with Simon for a bit and watch a lap with him. I do like this Audi. This is probably the meanest sounding car of the GT3 category, I think, in my personal opinion. When I entered the GT3 Championship, this was one of the cars I was going to choose. It may not be the fastest car on the grid, But I tell you something, it's even if you're doing 10 miles an hour, it feels like you're doing, or it sounds like you're doing 100, because this thing screams, and it is lovely to just listen to. So even if you're not getting the results, you can have pure satisfaction driving this thing around. So yeah, that's probably the only reason I was going to choose this car. But yeah, this car was pretty good on Project Cars 1, and I'm not sure if it's one of the better outfits in Project Cars 2. I didn't test enough cars to actually understand exactly which ones were which and where were where, because I tested the Lamborghini, for instance, and I didn't think much of it. Again, my last live feed I was explaining about the front wing on the Lambo. The reason is there isn't any adjustment for the front splitter for the Lamborghini, so I always thought that might be a bit of a negative effect to setting up that particular car. But as we've seen, it seems to be topping the tables, and the front wing doesn't seem to make too much of a difference whether you can adjust it or not on the Lamborghini. So that was a bit surprising to see that so high up at the top there. I mean, maybe it will struggle on other circuits. We've got some real tight, twisty circuits coming up after Brno, so it'll be interesting to see how the Lambo gets on with that. Simon crosses the line at 2:04.3. It's a great lap. As we've lost a driver, I think we've lost Whitehouse. I think he's left the session for some reason, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll see him back. Alex Van Gien still in the pit lane. We have another driver on track. Goes by the name of Robbo Baggins, who's doing great lap times. I'm really interested to see how Robbo gets on in the race with his Ginetta. I really want to see the Ginetta up there. Looks like Robbo's struggling a little bit with connection issues. We'll just keep an eye and just have a look at that. That's fine, it must have just been a bit of netcode. But yeah, so I'll be interested to see how Robbo gets on, because I've always had a bit of a love for the Ginetta, but I never really had the down belows to choose it for my last GT3, because I always thought it was so underpowered, but it had great grip, just like a kart, you know, and it was, yeah, it's like a supercar round the corners, you know. So it's always got great grip, and I think this is, as I said previously, I think this track is made for the Ginetta. Such a fast sweeping track. As Robbo comes over the line to do a 2:02.8. So yeah, he's got great race fuel pace at the moment. He's on 12 laps as well, so he's really pumping out these laps at the moment. And it seems like he's really found a setup that works, because he's just not stopped. He just keeps going round. He's doing consistent 2-minute twos, so I think the other drivers will be aware of this. Apologies, wrong button. I think the other drivers will be aware of this. And yeah, he'll be definitely one to watch. So 8 tenths separate the top three now, as Maverick is in the pit lane with a 2-minute flat 0.5. Kyle Power now out on his lap again. Is he on low fuel again? Is he going to try and... No, he's on 80 litres, so he's running full race fuel again. He's given up on that low fuel run for now, but I'm sure we'll see Power Pog back with a low fuel run later, and when he is, I will bring that to you, because you'll see something special coming towards the end of the night. You'll see something special. You'll see these drivers desperately trying to make the 59 barriers. You'll see a lot of mistakes, a lot of spins, and a lot of people trying to get that broken. So as we have Stelio Canto possibly on his outlap here. Yeah, he's on an outlap. Coming round, didn't really start that lap as quick as I thought he would. I thought he was going to get round that corner a bit quicker. Maybe he did, but here we go. Both of them starting look at the lines they take there. I love the different lines. Stelio goes wide. They're both drifting round turn one there. That was fantastic. Both drifting round round turn one, as Power Pog is getting extremely loose on the curbs there, side by side. These two having a little race and off their own at the moment, as Stelio tries to go around the outside of Power Pog. That was lovely to see a bit of drifting there. But yeah, so come the end of the session, you'll see these drivers trying to battle out for a 59-second lap around here, and yeah, it should be interesting stuff. So 35 minutes into the session. We have a 2-minute flat already by Maverick, and some tyres on the track there. Mind the tyres. Just give me 2 minutes and I'll read these comments, and I'll be back in about 2 minutes time, so just bear with me. Okay, so we have another driver who has entered, and that's Nathan Bellows, who's just pulled out the pit lane. He's also in the Audi R8 for this championship, so it'll be interesting to see how Nathan gets on. I believe Nathan was doing 203s to 204s for his race fuel from last practice, so he'll be definitely looking to improve on that as he gets on the marbles and has a little bit of a drift just to show us what he can do drifting wise. We've seen a couple of drivers drifting round turn 1 already, so let's make it 3. So yeah, Nathan will be interested. It'll be interesting to see how Nathan gets on as well with his race fuel runs, I believe he'll probably go straight out on race fuel. Tell a lie, he's going out on qualifying fuel. What do I know? He's out on 12 litres of fuel at the moment. I think a lot of these drivers are actually struggling to cope with these track conditions at the moment. I don't think the track's got a lot of grip. So it'll be interesting to see how many are struggling on low fuel. I do think the car is extremely hard to handle on low fuel in these conditions as well. The sun, I mean, the sun is out and there's not a cloud in the sky at the moment, even though you can see clouds in the sky. The session was set to complete sun with no cloud coverage, so I do know later on there will be quite a lot of cloud coverage come over, so maybe the times will drop a little bit when the track gets a bit colder. We'll soon find out, but Nathan at the moment definitely struggling with the rear end of the car. Yeah, so maybe just needs to come in and make a couple of adjustments and send himself back out again, as we have 4 drivers on track with the likes of David Whitehouse. We've not seen much from David at the moment, so we'll just keep an eye on David as he quit the session about 10 minutes ago, so we'll see him round on his installation lap. Again, I can't give you much information about David because I've not actually seen him out on this track at all yet, so I think he'd done a 2:04 on race fuel before he left the session, so he'll definitely be into the 2:03s, possibly 2:02s if he can really hook a good lap up on race fuel. As we've got a Ginetta of Robbo just behind David now, so Robbo, we may even looking to make a move past David. Yeah, Whitehouse respectfully moves out of the way to let Robbo go through, as Robbo is on his race fuel run at the moment. So, I'm sure it'll be a bit more harder in the race though, I'm not sure. David's just going to move over like that for drivers. David's a tricky customer to get past. So, David following Robbo at the moment because Robbo's done a decent 2:01.4 on race fuel, so David will be following to see what lines, see where he's losing a bit of time and see if he can keep up with him on his race fuel lap, because if David can keep up with Robbo, then he's got a good shout there at getting a decent 2:02 in. So we're just right on board with David to start his flying lap, entering this blind crest of a left-hander. Can be a real nightmare of a corner as David gets a little bit twitchy on the rear end there, but he's got a decent swing coming onto the start-finish line now to start on his lap. So an interesting line from David. David's one of the drivers that likes to hug the inside line there. As I was saying previously, some drivers like to start from the outside. Some drivers don't even touch that curb on the right-hand side and don't even touch the white line, but it's still as quick as the guys that like to hug the curb around the outside. So I do love Bruno for that first turn. He just gets that back end. Everyone's struggling with that corner today at the moment. Turn 3, I think that's people are really struggling with the rear oversteerer there. So definitely something. I think this track's just extremely green at the moment. Again, the track rubber really gets laid down after about an hour's time, hour and a half's time. And as we have Alex Van Gien on the track as well. So Alex Van Gien's coming round to start his flying lap now. So we'll see what he can make of us in this Ginetta. As we've seen the Ginetta extremely fast from Robbo Baggins there. So we'll go to the track side of Alex Van Gien, see him round this first corner, braking very early for the first turn there. So obviously Alex hasn't been round this circuit at all yet, so it really will be interesting to see how he can adapt to this circuit within the time frame. This is 2 hours remaining of the circuit of the session left, so this is Alex first lap we're seeing here. This is a tricky corner. Everyone seems to lose the back end on this corner at the moment. Alex doesn't though. Very nice, very fast through there as he comes past. Let's ride on board with Alex now. Very smooth driving there. It's just that back end still getting a bit twitchy there, so but I think you'll always struggle with the Ginetta to stop that vacuum coming out, because it just wants to keep turning. It just wants to turn all the time. So just to settle that rear end down is going to be the only challenge I think these Ginetta boys are going to have. As yeah, he's got a bit too much oversteer as you turn in. So I think maybe put some rear toe on that. Maybe try and settle that rear end as you drive into the corners, because there's going to be a lot of oversteer here. And there we have it. So I think a little bit more rear toe needs to go on the back of that, or maybe some more rear camber on those wheels to try and get that back end from coming out too quickly. Very interesting up here from Alex. That car's got a very pointy front end. David Whitehouse goes across on that lap as a 205.7, and that'll be on David's race fuel lap there, as Alex is also on fairly high fuel loads here. I think he went out at about 49 to 50 litres or so. So this is Alex coming across the line with a 206-ish, 207-ish I reckon, for his first ever lap round here. And he does a 210, apologies. So yeah, he needs to sort that rear end out, but that's his first lap round there, as he comes straight into the pit lane now. We have Maverick on the track here with 68 litres on board. Robbo Baggins with 41 litres. And Steno Cantor with a massive 79 kilos of fuel in. 79 litres of fuel in, apologies. Simon 27. And Whitehouse with 42 litres. Nathan Bellows with 12 litres. So they're all running very different fuel strategies at the moment. As we see Nathan starting a flying lap now. Very wide from Nathan, very wide. He's struggling with turn 3 there. We saw him on his last flying lap. He struggled with turn 3 there. He's 1.2 seconds down, so he's definitely struggling with that turn 3 there. Not got the confidence to get the front end turned in quick enough, and when he wants to turn in, it just seems to want to spit him out. So I think them rear tyres have overheated now, so that's Nathan's potential race lap ruined. As we have Maverick coming round to finish off one of his race run laps. And let's see what we got. Maverick coming in out there with 201.6 for a race lap. So as we saw PowerPog setting the lap times last session and setting the pace for race pace, tables have turned. Now Maverick is the man to be looking at, because he does seem to be a driver that goes out the pits on the first start of the session, spins about 15 times, and then seems to get that car settled down and just pumps in the laps, as he's 0.043 up on his best lap of a 2:05 at the moment. So we'll just stay on board here, because he's just set a purple sector for sector 1 there. So coming down the hill, he's got very wide. He's missed that apex, catastrophic there, and he's gone straight over the bumps and over the curves. He's going to go wide here as well, onto the grass. And I think seeing his delta say minus 0.04, he got a bit excited and he's just thrown that all away. So even on a race fuel run there, he was looking good for a 2-minute there. So one to watch, I think, Danny Maverick. I keep saying first names, so I'll get that out of my system. I need to try and get all these first names out, because I do know these boys personally, and it's quite hard not to say their real names. But Maverick will definitely be one to watch with the race fuel runs there, as PowerPog leaves the pits now on 80 litres of fuel. So definitely heavy fuel loads there, definitely race fuel for PowerPog. So we'll keep an eye on his lap times, for his race lap times, and see how he gets on with that. Let's just pop down to Whitehouse now. He's done a 2:03.2, which is a fantastic lap for race fuel run as well, as he goes wide there, but he's done a 2:03.2 on race fuel. So really good to see Whitehouse up there in the low 2:03s. Simon's done a 2:02.6, so Simon's really found some pace as well. So Simon's up to 4th place with a 2:02.6, only 6/10 off on that lap, with heavy fuel as well. So very good to see that from Simon, who's, again, I reiterate, he's on the pad. Stelio Canto's just behind him, doing 2:02.7 as he retires to the pit lane. Alex Van Gien is in 8th place, so he'll be trying to better his 2:10 at the moment. I don't know why it's gone to Maverick there, but here we go. So we're back on board with Alex Van Gien as Danny's flashing his lights. As it looks like Danny's on a very fast lap here. And there's just a bit of block in there, but I'm not sure that's going to hurt Danny too much. Maverick, as Alex wrecks the front end of his car there, so I think there's still a lot of setup work there for Alex to be doing as he has a chat with the marshal there. So yeah, it's looking a bit sketchy for Alex Van Gien at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine once he gets something that works for him. It's just finding exactly what does work for you and knowing how to drive that particular car around this circuit. We've got 2 Lambos right behind each other, very similar paint schemes here, so it's going to be very confusing as well for streaming. But one's got a big red front end, Demon Tweaks, that's David Whitehouse there. D Whitehouse just in front of him, Power Pog, as Power starts his race lap now as he drifts round this corner. Can he hold it? He just holds it and stops it going into the barrier, but what a drift. That was lovely. And we hope he doesn't do that in the race, because that is not. It's all very well and all very good looking at it now in practice, but you don't want to be doing that in your qualifying session, or even worse, in the race, because that can go from looking very good to looking very bad with a smashed front end, and that can be a race over. So yeah, it's always better to try not to overdrive into that first corner. It's so easy to brake really late for that first corner, but as soon as you do that, you're applying more brake pressure to the front wheels, meaning the back end's going to get really light, bringing the back end round because you've braked way too deep. So, and it does look like behind Kyle's cooking his rear tyres, because that first corner, it's really hard to get these tyres back in temperature range, back in good temperature range to get the grip out. And once you've had an off, or once you've had the rears lighting up, or if you lock the fronts up, it's very difficult to get those into very, working temperatures. So very decent to see Kyle not pitting and just chucking a new set of tyres, and he's pitted and chucked a new set of tyres on as I said that. So I was just about to say it probably is better just to pit and get some new tyres on, and as I said, it was decent of him not to. He just pits. So best lap delta is 0.8. It looks like the deltas are actually working now for some drivers, which is decent. The last session I hosted, there was no delta apart from one driver out of the whole grid. There was one driver that had delta working, so it does look like we've now got the split sectors working, which is really decent to see, because I was struggling last time to see who was going faster in what sector. And 8/10 off Whitehouse now, coming through the final corner here. His best lap of a 2:03.2. I'm gathering he'll probably do a 2:04 flat here. We'll just double check. 2:04.4 there from Whitehouse. So that's a decent lap there on race fuel. Who's close to finishing a lap here? I don't know why it says, there we go. Robert Baggins is... Yes, so Maverick's just finishing a lap. 2 seconds off his best lap there, so that's a race fuel run again. Let's just switch to Stelio Canto here. We've not seen much from Stelio, and he will be running on race fuel again. So let's just let's ride on board with Stelio. We've not seen much on board from Stelio here, so we'll have a nice little on board here and see what he can do on this race fuel. And as I say that, commentator's curse, the back end comes round and bins it. That's a shame. So we'll get back as he's reversing back onto a live track, but there's no one behind him. So he's going to continue on. Maybe he hasn't got much damage. Maybe he's going to be pitting. He's pitting. So as we ride on board with someone I've not seen. We have a little bit of a spin, but we'll come back to Stelio after he gets back out on track, and I'll keep an eye on him, and we'll take a ride with Stelio and see how he goes. And as I've now switched to Maverick and smashes his windscreen, I seem to be switching to onboards where at the exact point they spin, so apologies, but you can't say I don't miss anything. I don't miss anything because I seem to be picking up everyone's accidents at the moment, which is good for us and good for the viewers. So let's hope that continues on race night, where I can catch everyone's incidents as Alex Van Gien comes over the start-finish line to start a new flying lap. So let's see, he needs to improve on this 2:10 by quite a bit. Let's go back on board with Alex Van Gien and see if he's got... Ah, his tyres all over the track. Who was that? Someone's really binned it there. I think they've already retired to their pits, but as we saw just then, there was tyres everywhere coming out of turn 1. I don't know who that was. That could possibly have been... I don't even want to say who it was, but I've never seen tyres flying all over the place. That was cool. So Alex seems to have got the rear end settled down a little bit on this. Yeah, definitely he's much smoother through there. It does just sound like he's very, very tentative on the accelerator. Doesn't sound like he wants to put it down, the accelerator down too hard, because it just feels like it's going to spit him out. So he's 6/10 up. I can see on his display on his dash he's 6/10 up on his best lap at this moment. Coming now, starting the downhill sector. I do love this section of the track. It's a tricky sector. This is where the car gets spat left, right and all which ways if you're not careful. A very good line through there, very planted, so he's just finding a bit more confidence now with his car, finding where the grip is. Stay tight, needs to stay tight here. It's just drifted out, so he's now had to lift off the throttle, and he's going to go slightly wide here onto the gravel. So the wrong line has been taken, so just a little bit. You need to sacrifice that first part of the apex a little bit and go a bit slower to gain a lot more going up that hill. So a bit of a better line through there. Could see Alex gaining over a second at least, because that final corner, that right-hander, you don't really need to be lifting off the throttle. So Alex comes across the line and sets a 2:07.4. That's a bit better. So continuing on, I can see Alex getting 2:05s very soon. Interesting line there from Alex, really white lining it all the way around, but there's no right or wrong way, as we have something's happened to Kyle Power. There was something by the side of his name there I saw on the left hand side. I don't know what that was, I've never seen that before, but we've got Power Pog just behind Stelio Canto, who rightfully pulls over, as Power Pog is on a fast lap here. I'm not sure what fuel he's on, I'll tell you now. 74 litres, so once again we've got some drivers. He's 3/10 down on his first sector there. Not entirely sure why it keeps switching, as we have Stelio Canto in the background taking a bit of a spin and back to the pit lane there. So Stelio is struggling a little bit with the rear end of his car, but I've been saying that about everyone at the moment. I think they're all pitting and making just very minor changes. But it does seem like there's hardly any grip out there at the moment. I mean, worse than the first session we hosted. I don't know why that would be, but nearly 1 hour into the session now. Drivers settling down. 8 drivers on the board. Still, Maverick leading the way with a 2:05 with Power. 2:01.3, that's 7/10 back. And Robbo Baggins in third. Simon fourth, impressive Simon in fourth there. 7/10 off his best lap there from Kyle, from Power Pog. As Whitehouse comes in the pit lane. as Power goes across the line, the 201.2. So actually that was his fastest lap of this session, and that was with a couple of mistakes in there as well. I noticed a couple of tiny little mistakes there from Power, and he's 6 tenths behind Maverick, who is also on the track with race fuel on board. Alex Van Gien goes and does a 205, so what did I say? It won't be long before Van Gien gets a 205, and he's gone and got a 205 straight away, so he'll be looking at breaking the 204 barriers. Seems like he's got something settled down, and the one person I'm seeing struggle at the moment is Nathan. Nathan doesn't seem to be having much luck. 7.5 seconds off of pole pace at the moment, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, because he was extremely fast when we were testing at Circuit of the Americas, and for some reason it's either confidence in the car, whether he can't find anything that really works, or the track itself. I know some drivers dislike this track quite a bit, and I know some drivers absolutely love this. The one person that really does love this circuit, and it's probably one of his favourite circuits, is Power Pog. He does love this track, along with myself. I do love this track. It's one of my favourites, so rightfully so. You see Power Pog up there in the top 3, but Nathan's really struggled here, so we'll just stay with him, see if he can improve on his 208 flat here. He needs to be in the 206s to be thinking about making any impression on the top 10, but still 208s. Well, Alex Van Gien crosses the line with a 205.5, so he's doing consistent 205s at the moment, which is decent from Alex, with 30 litres on board there. Maverick's on a hot lap now, and Stelio's also on a hot lap. No, they're not. Maverick's in the pits and Stelio's in the pits. Amateur. So, we will have a look at Robbo Baggins, who we've not seen for the last 20 minutes or so. So we'll just see how he's getting on there. Interesting to see when he puts a bit of light fuelage in. See if he's actually got 20 litres on now, so he could be going a lot quicker now. So let's see what he can do and if he can improve on the 201.4. So Robbo Baggins is starting his low-ish fuel run, let's say, so be interested to see how well he does. He's 4 tenths down on the best lap, which is 4 tenths quicker than his current lap. So he is definitely faster than his lap. So at this particular point, he's looking at a 2-minute lap. He's looking extremely smooth at the moment. Yeah, really smooth there from Robbo Baggins. This guy's not put a foot wrong all practice session at the moment, so Carl Power's just gone faster with a 201.1 as well. That was maybe he done that before without me noticing, but he's half a second down now on Maverick. Simon's still in 4th place. Nathan doing a 206.4. That's better, Nathan. Nathan 206.4, so he'll now be looking at 205s. He's found something that works for him. Just dipping into the 206s there, so Nathan will definitely be looking again at 205 as just stay on board here. See how Robbo gets on, see if he can break his lap time of a 2-minute 1.4. Continues as a 2-minute 1.4, so maybe he made a little bit of a mistake there, but he'll continue on. Try and catch these two Lamborghinis at the front here. They're both out there now. We've got Maverick and Power. I believe Power was on heavy fuel loads, and he is. He's on 80 kilos again, so he'll be testing some other things out before he goes out there and puts a light fuel load in. And Maverick is also on 70 litres of fuel. I'm going to try and get one of these two drivers in this commentary box now and see if I can get one of them to talk me around a lap while they're driving around. So as soon as Maverick or Power pulls into the pit lane, I'll try and get them in the commentary box for them to talk us around a lap, and we'll go from there. So should be interesting to hear them driving while talking at the same time. So once they've come back in the pits, I'll see if I can get that for you. Two-minute 1.8 there from Maverick. Good race fuel run that is. He's just come out behind Alex Van Gien there. Danny has his lights fully on at the moment. Pulls out of the way so Danny can get past. So Alex on his out lap. Danny going very wide. We'll just stay on board here. This is quite a good view for Maverick in front of us. It's interesting to see the different lines as Van Gien takes a very tight line and then drifts out wide, as opposed to Maverick, he goes very wide then cuts in. So as I said, there's a lot of long sweeping corners here. You can take various different lines for these. Be interesting to see two drivers going into the first corner at the same time, because you'll see what I mean about the different lines. For those that don't know, you can take such aggressive lines into turn one, but you can also take very cautious lines into turn one, and you can both still come out at the same lap time. As it looks like Bellows is on a faster lap here. Someone was on a faster lap. I couldn't quite see who that was just then, but someone was definitely on a faster lap. Let's just keep an eye on the time on the screen. Simon's just gone through. That's who it was. Simon's just gone through with a 201.8. That's a fantastic lap from Simon. I may have missed that initially, but that's a very fast lap time from Simon. So impressed, very impressed indeed myself to see that. And so Stelio Canto's got a bit of work to do here. He's still sitting on a 202.7, so he won't be pleased with that at the moment. So from one of the drivers that used to complete the most laps there was, seems to be completing a lot less, and Robbo Baggins is just lap after lap after lap. 29 laps now he's done, and I've not actually seen him come into the pit lane, so I think he may be testing out his long run pace here. He's now only got 9.9 litres on board, so has he been out consistently now for 30 laps? I think he might have done, you know, unless he's just gone out on this sort of fuel. but I do believe he has been out this entire time. He's on 30 laps now, and he's been consistently doing 201s to 203s all the way through his stint. So he's on 9 litres now, but I do think he was running, originally, he was running, I'm not quite sure why it keeps switching to Maverick there. I'm not looking at Maverick. There we go. So 9 litres, I think he did start with around about 60 to 70 odd litres. So I think it's fair to say he's done 30 laps consistently now, if I'm not mistaken, with that amount of fuel in, and he hasn't span once. He's kept on track and he's consistently done those lap times, so watch out, top 3 there, or the usual top 3, because this guy is looking extremely consistent. As we have Maverick starting a lap there, and Alex just behind starting a lap also. So the last lap, Maverick done a 2-minute flat 0.9, and the last lap for Van Gien was a 2:03.0. Great lap from Van Gien there. So, and that was on heavy fuel as well. So yeah, this Ginetta's looking spicy actually. And for some reason in Sector 1 it does flick back to Maverick all of a sudden. I've no idea. I'm not doing that, just to let you know. I am concentrating on Alex at the moment, and there you go, it goes back to Alex. So no matter who you're looking at in Sector 1, it just switched back to Maverick every single time for some odd reason. But yeah, so the lap times are getting quite close now. 1 hour 49 minutes left of the session. And once again, I will try and get either, well, anyone. I mean, we could have David, sorry, Stelio Canto. If Stelio wants to join me in the commentary box and talk me around one of his laps. If he can hear me, you're more than welcome to come and join me on one of my laps. On one of your laps, not my laps, your laps. And we'll see if we can get anyone in to have a chat about what they're doing as they're going around. As Stelio just leaves the circuit, so not quite up for it just yet. I just feel Alex can't push as much as he wants to. It looks like he just can't push how he wants to push in that car just yet. I'm sure he'll find something, as we're looking at Maverick getting very, very sideways on both of those corners there. So really pushing hard here as he comes across the line. 2:01.7 there for Maverick, so decent lap time again. Van Gien comes across the line. The 2:03.8, so still very decent lap times there from Van Gien. And a very interesting line there. I'm not sure that is the quickest way around, as he's gone very wide around there, but that is his preferred line. Okay, so Stelio's just finishing his outlap now. We'll just stay on board. He's got race fuel in, so he definitely wants to improve on his 2:02.7 here. So we'll just stay on board now and just we'll take a lap with Stelio and see if he can improve on his 2:02 on his race fuel of 80 litres, I believe he had in at the beginning of this lap. Let's have a look and see what he can do here. He's gone very... He's got that very wrong on the inside there. I think he's really struggling at the moment with something. I'm not quite sure what he's struggling with at the moment, but definitely seems like to be struggling with something. So it's not his best night for testing at the moment, Stelio, but he has done a 2:02.7, but you can't string it together for more than 3 laps. I mean, David Stelio is usually Mr. Consistency, but at the moment he's really struggling with something. This Power Pog comes through to finish Sector 2 now, coming up the hill. Behind Robbo Baggins there, I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He's probably finishing off. It'd be interesting to see what he's doing. Is he? I'll just switch to him quickly and just have a look. He's running out of fuel now. He's on 2.2 litres and he has done 32 laps. And his last lap was a 2:04.4. So possibly looking like he's going to try and zero stop this race in that Ginetta with that amount of fuel as he pulls over and lets Power go through. As Power comes across the line with a 2:02.6 on race fuel. So it does look like Robbo may have given away his strategy there. Like he's going to zero stop this one. He's done 32 laps with consistent lap times there, so he's looking extremely strong. So it may be the theme down the field where everyone is going to try and zero stop this race. So unfortunately for the viewers, we may not see any pit stops, but we'll just have to see. With Project Cars 2, you can only put the tyre wear on accelerated, as apart from Project Cars 1, you could turn up to time 7, which was amazing because you could really throw some curveballs with strategies and stuff. But in Project Cars 2, I think that is one thing they do need to upgrade on this game, is bringing that tyre wear into play with another update and being able to adjust the tyre wear a bit more freely, because at the moment you can only have 2, which is real and accelerated. So it would be lovely to see additional tyre wear on this game to force people into using different compounds and strategies and so forth. So, but at the moment it is what it is. Robbo's looking great for race pace. I think he's probably going to run out of fuel soon. Yeah, he actually has just run out of fuel, as I say, so he is just going to pull off the track. So very, very good run there from Robbo. He has run out of fuel and he has done his test. So he's gone out there to do what he wanted to do. As Alex Van Gien does a 2:03 flat. I just want to stay on board with the last part of Power Pog's lap here. Just see when he comes across the line. Does 2:02.6 previous lap, 2:02.1. So good from Carl there. So we have a driver. We have Maverick waiting in the wings for a outlap with us. He is sitting in the pit lane ready for us. So bear with me. What we're going to do is going to invite Maverick into this group chat, and we will then go out the pits with Maverick, and he will talk you round a hot lap. Without spinning, let's hope. So we will see. So bear with me and I'll just get him in the group chat for us. Maverick, you there?
Yep, yeah.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Okay, so you want to take us round on one of your hot laps?
Yeah, you'll have to bear with us. So
that's fine.
Put the tyres up. It's greasy.
Okay, excellent. What I'll do is we'll ride trackside camera view while you're on your out lap. And then as soon as you start your hot lap, I'll put it onto cockpit cam, and then it's all yours.
No pressure then?
No pressure, no pressure. So at the moment you've done a 2... Yep, no, I'm sticking with you. I'm sticking with you for this. So at the moment you've done 2:05. So was that on low fuel or was that on race fuel? I can't quite remember.
Race fuel.
That was on race fuel.
It weren't a bad lap.
Right.
Made a mistake in the middle sector and lost 2.5 tenths.
Right. Is there more time to come?
Yeah, more time to come. I'm not going to take the fuel out for a while yet, even though I am very tempted to dip into them 59s.
Okay.
But it's good, the setup I did on the PC has translated well, but I'm just struggling
with oversteer.
Yeah, so
everyone is. I've been watching everyone. Everyone's really struggled with the oversteers this session. I'm not quite sure why, but everyone's really struggling. I don't know if you know, but Robbo Baggins as well. I don't know if you've clocked him, but he's
I've seen him.
Yeah, he's gone out on race fuel. He's done 33 laps without spinning, doing 201s to 203s every single lap. So and he didn't come in once, so he's looking really good for race pace in that Ginetta.
Yeah, right. No, he looks solid. Oh, it's alright. Ignore that.
Don't worry. We don't need that barrier. We don't need that barrier.
I was looking at YouTube to shut you up because you're doing my head in. Trying to concentrate.
Right, I'll ride on board cockpit with you now, and I'll leave you alone for a lap.
Yeah, okay. So just coming up through the last sector. Car coming up, so we'll pull out of the way and let him go. That's what it does. So tyres are coming up to temperature, still a bit cold. Brakes are very cold. Coming through here, down to second, over to the left. Open the corner up, try and knock up with the apex. Third gear corner, come out, run as wide as you can. Up to the line, try and shift at the optimal time. Keep it in fifth, we don't go up to sixth. Find the white line, down 2 gears, turn it in, back end's loose. Try and get as tight as you can. Floor the throttle, run the curb. Down to the bridge, trying to keep it as straight as you can to lose the resistance. Come down here, get the brakes now, down to third, down to second, get the nose in. Oh, and again it kicks. It's alright, we've catched it. Third, down to second again to get the nose to bite. Throttle hard, over to the curb. That mistakes cost us a lot, but we'll carry on. Down here up to fifth, hit the brakes. Down in second to get the nose to bite. Again, the back's trying to kill us. Over the curb, up to third to add some stability. Now I keep it tight here, down to second. I lose a lot more speed on the apex, but for me, it just squares the corner up to third. Down here to find the rubber. Down to second, again get it in early. Balance the car on the throttle. Over to the apex. Get the throttle hard while the car's sliding. See Nath going off in the distance. Now down here trying to go as fast as you can. Look for the rubber on the floor. Down 2 gears. Turn the car in. Down to second to get the nose to right more. Throttle as hard as you can with the rear sliding. Up to the hill. 4th gear. Down to second. Get it in early. Try and take as much curb as you can. But don't want to settle the car. Over to the right. Run the curb on the left. But hope it don't kill you. Up the hill. Up to 4th, and we're looking for the curb on the right, and just past there we're going to hit the brakes. Down to second, again turn it in, try and get nice and tight. Balance the throttle, bit of a lift, back down hard on the throttle, and again run wide over the curb, over to the lap. We're 203 with a scruffy lap. So
203.0. Okay, so the I didn't notice the back end just. It does look like he wants to kill you at every corner. Is that the setup? Is that how you like it? Is that something you want to dial out, or is that how you prefer the car? Quite loose.
I like the car like that, but probably not as much as it's trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Trying to talk and drive is
tricky. It's tricky.
It's mainly just. I don't know if it's because the weather's broke now or not, but the front's got understeer and then the rear's just slipping away at each corner.
Excellent.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's just sliding.
Yeah.
But yeah, session's going well. The track's very green, as you can see by but race pace looks solid. Once I get this rear sorted, I think I've got an idea or two. It should be okay, but even with the rear sliding, it's 201s for me at the minute. Kyle's looking there or thereabouts. Rob's looking very good. Dave's having a bit of a struggle, I think. And Alex is looking good, and again, it's looking close, so
Yeah.
race pace will come down to it, but I'm sure you'll see it.
I'm looking forward to when you all start putting low fuel in, because I want to see someone pop a 59 tonight. So
well, I want to pop a 59. I've done one in unofficial testing, as you've seen, so
yeah.
I'm hoping to repeat it. The other night, not getting first absolutely killed me, so looking for a bit of revenge tonight.
Excellent, brilliant. Well, we've got 6 drivers on track now, so I think we've lost Whitehouse through connection issue. I don't think he could join. We've got Simon, who's gone through with a 2:01.8 now, so he's looking rather fast, I must admit, and that was on race fuel also.
Yeah, Simon's a solid little driver. He sticks with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like I say, he's highly rated by all of us, so
yeah,
he's getting better each session.
Yeah. Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you very much, Maverick. Appreciate the lap. Appreciate the time. And as I say, the race is held on the 28th of May this month, so that will be at 8 o'clock. And we'll make sure we put the link out on all pages so you can all have a watch and have an enjoying night watching us, what we do and what Project 4 has to offer there. So Alex Van Gien is the one that runs this championship. He's the one driving the Ginetta at the moment, and he's on a 2:03.0, and that was on race fuel, so Van Gien seems to have found a bit of pace now, which is great stuff. Power's on the track as well now, so we've got 2 drivers on track, 4 drivers in the pit lane. Power and Simon are on the track, and we've just had no, I thought Robbo went out. He looks like he's just about to come out again, actually, so we've got Simon on track here. And he is now running 23, so yeah. Thank you to Maverick for letting us do that. It's always tricky to drive and talk at the same time. Interesting to see what he does on the corners. It does seem like these cars just want to kill you at every moment, just like that one from Simon. So, as we say, the track is extremely green at the moment, but come qualifying, I think the track will be very well rubbered in, and we'll see some very, very fast lap times. Hopefully we'll soon see a sub 2 minute lap time, because I've been wanting to see a sub 2 minute lap time for a while now, and I have a feeling Carl might be on a bit of low fuel here. No, he's on 75 litres at the moment. If that was that Carl? It's gone back to Maverick for some reason. He's on 77 litres at the moment, so let's see if we can find anyone with a bit of low fuel on board. So we got Robbo Baggins. He's on a 7.9 litres, so he's on a low fuel. Maverick's gone out 74 litres, so we'll keep an eye on Robbo Baggins at the moment. We've got Simon in the pit lane, Alex Van Gien in the pit lane, and Nathan Bellows in the pit lane. They're all sitting there with 50 gallons of fuel, 50 litres of fuel on board. So the one to watch at the moment, Robbo Baggins. We know what race pace Maverick can do. We know what race pace Power can do. So we'll keep an eye on Robbo now and see what he can pull out the bag. With his 7 litres of fuel, that's a very small amount of fuel. When you put such a small amount of fuel in the cars do tend to get very light indeed. With an hour and a half left of the session remaining, we should be looking at getting this finish completed at 5 minutes past 11, I am judging, so that's when the session will finish. And yeah, he's going to wind himself up to start this fast lap now. Let's get the speedo off here. We don't need the speedo on there anymore. Here we go. So he's winding himself up now. Starts his flying lap now. So Robbo, I've noticed, is very smooth at the moment with this Ginetta. And let's just ride in the cockpit cam with him. He's gone a bit deep there. I think that's just a bit of a connection issue there from Robbo, but that's okay. Coming into turn 3 now, where we've seen a lot of people drop it here. Probably because they get just a bit too late on the brakes, and they're braking as they turn. I think it's half the problem when people are losing the back ends there. Using all the curves there. I think we got a bit of a connection issue there, Rob. So it's very difficult to tell what lines he's taken and everything there. So maybe he's just got a bit of a connection. So let's look at the time, and yeah, he's got a bit of a low connection there. So we're probably judging by his lines. It's probably a bit difficult to see what lines he's taken at the moment. So we'll just stick on the trackside camera view at the moment. It's Power just ahead on his heavy car. Motoring along. We'll keep an eye on his lap time as well, but we'll just stick with Robbo at the moment. Simon's back out on track now. He's done. I'm really impressed with Simon's time, 2:01.8. So that's a great lap time there from Simon. Really good lap time. So come around the final corners now. Let's see what Robbo can pull in now. His best lap's at 2:01.4. So I got a feeling he can go a lot quicker. I think free practice 1, he was very wide there. He was a lot quicker in free practice 1. What does he get? 2:01.4 is best. 2:0.4. That's fast. So I think he done a 2:0.4 last session. He possibly went quicker, but he's definitely got some pace there. So 2:0.4 there from Robbo Baggins. That's 1/10 faster than Maverick, but I do know that Maverick done that lap time on quite a heavy fuel load. So I think we do know that he's going to have a bit of pace there to bring with a light fuel load. So this is where it starts spicing up now with an hour and a half left. Power, Maverick and Gang, they will not like to see their name not in first place. So you might see a couple of these drivers now bang some as Maverick pits now. So he's probably just seen himself been demoted to second. He's probably going to chuck some light fuel in. Knowing Maverick, he'll put some light fuel in. He'll go out there and punch a lap in. And but we'll keep an eye. So Power that lap. Let's just have a quick peek, see what Power done that last lap on his heavy fuel. 2:0.9 there, wow. In fact, yes, it was his fastest lap time. Apologies for not picking that up earlier, but that's his fastest lap time of this entire session on race fuel. So again, another one to watch on light fuel. So we could see a couple of drivers here pop in a 59. Yeah, that's a great lap time from Power there on his fuel load. Let's just ride on board because you should be able to see his display. Oh, he's 1.1 second off his best, I think, at the moment. So he's not going to set the world alight on this lap. I don't believe he is, unless that's a dodgy display he's got there. But I doubt it. So this lap time will be a 2:01, 2:02.0, 2:02 flat that lap time. So yeah, that was right. He was 1 point. Ow! As Alex comes out of the pit lane, very close to replicating what happened in free practice 1, where Danny came out in front of Carl and completely blocked him. But Alex just saw him at the last second and got out of the way. So good to see Alex back on track now. So we'll follow Alex around for a few laps. As wrong car, there we go. We have lost Stelio Canto, which I hadn't noticed previously. All of a sudden, Alex looks like he's got a lot of grip and confidence in these corners, because he's running nearly 90 litres of fuel on board, and now turning his lights on. Massive backfire of flames there. So all of a sudden, he's just got the hammer down and he seems to have found some grip. So unless Brad Philpott's around his house, I actually think he's probably found some pace here. And I don't know what's going on now. Maybe he just wants to. We'll just stick with Alex here because I want to see as he whacks the tyres and damages his car and puts tyres all over the track. Who's that coming around the final sector? I'm interested to see that, see if anyone hits their tyres. That was Robbo Baggins, I think, who was coming round. So let's just stick with Alex Van Gien here and just see how he gets on with this heavy car, because all of a sudden he looks like he's got some confidence into every corner here. So we'll see how Kyle compares and see, how Power compares and see if he can catch him up in this phase. In fact, we'll tell you what we'll do as it just focuses up. We'll go to Power and we'll go on board with Power so we can see the back end of Van Gien's car. There we go. It's quite a good view because you can see what both drivers are doing as Van Gien goes very wide, very deep into that corner. He's going to get on the Astro here, which is never a good idea. Whoa, Carl gets a swap on there. Apologies, Powerpod gets a swap on there, so he's really fighting that car at the moment, but it's good to see Alex this fast as Kyle pulls to the right hand side of the track there. As he got Robbo Baggins behind him. Yeah, there's three of these drivers now which are side by side, nose to tail, however you want to call it. Simon's just finishing a lap. I'm guessing he's just finished a lap. Simon's on a 208.8, so he's just starting his flying lap now. So we'll come back to Simon once we've finished looking at Alex's lap, as Alex is on the last sector now. We'll see what he can pull out the bag here. He's on a, as Robbo Baggins pulls into the pit lane, he's done a 203.0, but it does look like he's got a lot more confidence with this at the moment. He's running an extremely heavy car, and this is the most fuel I've seen in a car around the circuit. And he stays on a 203. 203.7 he done that lap, so he stays on a best with a 203 flat. Power goes across line with a 203.5, and still very good race fuel pace there from Alex. Maverick's still on race fuel here, so he's not quite ready for his low fuel runs yet. And I think Robbo Baggins is desperate to get a 59 here because he's gone back out on low fuel load. So he's obviously done his long run fuel pace, his fuel long stint with fuel, race fuel. So he's obviously going to do his qualifying fuel runs now. So I think from now on, you may see Robbo stay to the end, but with the pace he's got, I'm not sure he really needs to stay to the end. But great if he does, because then we can see some low fuel runs and possibly 159s being pumped in by Robbo himself. So he's on his out lap at the moment, so we'll come back to Robbo once he starts his lap. Oh, Carl gets wide there, nearly drops it, nearly face first into the barriers. This will be good for both of these drivers, gauging where you can make moves, and Kyle will be working out where Alex is weak, where he could possibly make a move as well, as these two drivers cross the line, not improving on the lap time. Kyle dives down the inside, he hits the side of Alex, and he puts Alex straight on the gravel. I'm not quite sure if that was legit, because that was a very, very aggressive move, I'd say, from Kyle Power, from Powerpod there, which wasn't very nice, I must say. It was a very late lunge. It kind of used Alex to to get his way around the corner there. So whether we know Alex takes a lot tighter line into turn 1 there, so I think if you're going to make a move, just be prepared to see an Alex Van Gien moving slightly to the right a bit earlier than you normally would other drivers, because Alex's line is a lot tighter than the rest. So I'm sure Kyle didn't realise how tight Alex takes that line, but I'd love to see that back. I'll watch that back later and have another look at it and see what I think on a second time round. But from what I saw at that particular point, it did look like there was a lot of side swiping contact there from Power Pog. But yeah, interesting stuff. I like seeing that. So we've got 2 drivers very close together at the moment. Who have we got? We've got Robbo Baggins on light fuel behind Alex Van Gien, who's probably nursing a bit of damage there from that incident with Power. Alex will let him go past quite easily there, yeah. So I think Robbo's on his hot lap here. As we said, we'd come back to him and have a look and see what he's doing. So yeah, he's on his hot lap here. See if he can improve on this 2-minute 0.4. It's a very wide line coming out of the penultimate corner there, but it seems to work for him. He's going very fast. Will he improve on a 2-minute 0.4? He does a 1:59.9. That's the first 1:59 I've seen, and it's done by Ginetta Robbo Baggins. 1:59.984. That's a fantastic lap. And me personally, I'm glad I've seen it, because I'm sick of seeing 2 minutes all over the leaderboard. So Robbo Baggins is the first guy to do a 1:59.984. He will be pleased with that, and he can leave this session a happy man. He's done his long stint. He's done 2 laps on a set of tyres and a big fuel load, and he's now gone out there on his 3rd attempt at a low fuel load, and he's banged in a 1:59.984. Fantastic stuff there, and great to see a Ginetta up there so far in the lead now, 6/10 as well. So will he carry on or will he back out now? But be interesting to see if he stays. It'd be nice if he does stay, see if he can better that even more. But if he leaves, then it wouldn't be a surprise, because he really has got that car set up absolutely perfectly now. You can just tell by the way he's driving. He was smooth on the throttle. He's smooth on the brake, and then coming out that penultimate corner, I thought he went just a bit too wide, but that's obviously how he likes to take that corner. It seems to work for him, because that's proof right there for you. So now that's really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons, that has, because he's now proved he's got fantastic race pace and 59 pace. So that's going to scare a couple of people here, I think. So the other driver that's out there that could possibly beat that is this man, Maverick, who's still doing some race laps. And just to update you, his race laps are 2:01 flat at the moment, so very fast. Power Pog's in the pit lane now, and he may have seen that 1:59 being popped in there by Robbo, and he may want to put some low fuel in, but he's still got 81 litres on board at the moment, so he might just be making a couple of minor adjustments. He might slap some low fuel litres in there and try and get out there. We've got Alex just passing start finish line. I heard that lawnmower engine come past, so here he comes. He's going to start his hot lap now and see if he can improve now. He's on 75, so he's still doing some race laps here. So Alex working on his long race pace. And let's see, I believe that's the start of his first lap. Yeah, he done a 2:18 last lap. I think that was the connection with Power. So he's just starting his laps now. He's 1/10 down, 0.184 down on his best lap. So he's on par for a 2:03 flat still at the moment. He's definitely more confident. Alex is definitely more confident into these corners, apart from that one where he's just gone a little bit wide. But that is what these test sessions are about. It's just testing the limits of the car, testing where you can push and where you can't push. And it's good to see Alex really pushing now. And if you're not going off the track, you're not pushing hard enough. So it's good to see him pushing, trying to find where you can go wrong, where you can push a bit harder. And also, I have realised I should really change the kilometres an hour to miles an hour. I do apologise to people that are reading that, because I'm running kilometres an hour for some reason at the moment. So I will change that for the race live stream as well, because I would like to see top speeds of cars that are not in kilometres an hour. So I will change that for the next feed that we do for Project 4's racing, and I will make sure that is corrected, as I personally like to work in miles an hour, so I have no idea why that's kilometres an hour at the moment. So we have Alex warming his tyres up to do another race lap. Coming up the hill, he's just brushing off all that dirt off his tyres, and maybe he wanted a bit more dirt on his tyres because he's gone straight off. Anyway, so let's just go to Simon now and have a look at Simon. We've not seen much of Simon recently, as he's quietly been cracking on with what he needs to do. Simon's running 20 litres of fuel now, and driver's really struggling at the moment. Everyone's in the pit lane now, and Maverick just leaves the pits. Here we go. Maverick has 15 litres of fuel on board. This is where he's seen Robbo do a 59, and it looks like Robbo's stayed in this session because I think he knows that one of these drivers is going to go out there and try and beat his lap time. I think if Robbo sees one of these boys beat his 59.9 lap time, I think Robbo will go out again. As I say that, Robbo has gone out. Now, let's just check in with Robbo and see. Yeah, he's gone out with 8 litres again. So this could get really exciting, because I know it's only a practice session, but I do like the mind games these guys play on each other, because he's seen Maverick go out with a low fuel load. He knows Maverick could possibly beat his 159, but Robbo has gone out with his 8 litres on board, knowing that if Maverick beats his lap time, he could possibly only have the lead. He could, for about 4 corners, until Robbo comes across the line and possibly take Maverick off the top of the table again. So let's hope these two drivers can pull out a couple of 59s and get these juices flowing a bit. I mean, let's have a look at Power. I think Power's, yeah, he's still in the pits with 81 litres on board at the moment. Simon's out on track with 30 litres, so let's see how many laps Simon's done now. I think he's done quite a few laps. 11 laps. So he's done the least amount of laps. I thought he'd done quite a few. So he's done 11 laps out of everyone, but I think he has rejoined the session a couple of times, which resets your laps. Power Park has done the second most laps. He's done 26 laps. It's a very decent amount of testing done there. Alex, joining late, has done 13 laps, so good to see Alex doing so many laps while joining quite late, and already in the 203s, so good to see that. And bearing in mind, Van Gien hasn't done any low fuel runs just yet, so that is race pace for Van Gien there, so that is very good race pace, considering the leaders are doing 201 to 203s and then dropping into 204s for the end of their stint. So yeah, it's very good to see Alex on the pace there with his race fuel, and he was looking rather planted as well when he had his race fuel in. So Van Gien's gone back out there now with 90 litres on board, so he's gone back out with an extremely heavy load on board. And it'll be interesting to see how much fuel these drivers do run for this 1 hour race, because 90 litres, giving a nice little flash of the lights there for the camera. Yes, Alex, we can see you. He knows we're talking about him, that's why he's flashing his lights. And it'll be interesting to see what fuel loads these drivers do run, because Van Gien here is running 90 litres of fuel on board. I have a feeling that might be a bit too much, but I don't know, because I have no idea how much these drivers get through per lap, how many litres you get through per lap. Maybe I could work it out with one of these drivers by watching their fuel go down, but I'll leave that to them. as I think we have Maverick about to set off on his flying lap with low fuel, so we will want to keep an eye on that one while Van Geen's still warming his tyres up. We'll come back to Van Geen after we've just watched Maverick here coming around the final sector, coming up to the penultimate corners now to start off a possible 1 minute 59 lap time. He's got 10 litres on board, so it's the perfect amount to get a 59. You don't want to run the car mega light, because if you run it too light, there's a high possibility you can just spin and spin and spin non-stop. So here we go. He is starting his lap now. In fact, that was poor from me, because that was one of his flying laps as a 2 minute point 4, so that was rather poor from me. 2 minute point 4 there from Maverick, but we'll stay on with him here because he'll definitely be going for another lap here. That's much better through there. He looks really fast. He's up just half a tenth. He's half a tenth up on his best lap of a 2 minute point 4 at the moment, so it's still not quite enough. Hopefully he can find a bit more time in sector 2 here. So hard on the brakes. That was maximum 100% pressure on the brakes there, judging. You can see his throttle application there on the right hand side. Half throttle, 3/4 throttle, full throttle, half brakes there. So very smooth on the accelerator and very smooth on the brakes there from Maverick. As Robbo Baggins has retired back to the pit lanes, maybe made a little mistake there. So he's back in the pits. Power still in the pit lane, still yet to see a low fuel run from Power there as well. So we've got those two to look out for. Simon's still doing his 201s, 202s. Robbo Baggins has just left the pit lane again now. Danny's is looking, Maverick is looking very smooth at the moment. I've not seen many mistakes from him actually this one, so hopefully we can get a split time now. He's 6 tenths up. This could be a 1 minute 59. This could be a 1:59.9 here. So all eyes are going to be how close it can be between him and Robbo. So he's coming up coming up the hill now into the last sector, the last two corners now. 6 tenths up. So this will be a 1 minute 59.9 or 1:59.8 if he can hold it together, depending on how he takes this final corner. Super smooth. All he needs to do now is keep it planted all the way around here, and he will get a 1:59. Will he beat Robbo Baggins for pole position? 1:59.819. Fantastic lap. 1/10 faster than Robbo Baggins, so that's a good lap there from Maverick. And I should think Robbo's going to try and get out there and try and beat him now. It'd be lovely to see Robbo get back out there and see if he can put in another hot lap here. So we'll just leave as we see Alex Van Geen come round on another race fuel lap here. So Van Geen's coming around to finish one of his race run laps, and we'll see what Van Geen does coming across the line here. Best lap of a 2:03.0 for Van Geen, does a 2:04.5, so still some good race pace in there for Simon. Comes across the line. Yeah, he's still pumping in 2:02s there, so good times there from Simon as well. So Simon's looking rather quick as well at the moment, so Simon's about half a second to a second quicker than Alex Van Geen's race pace at the moment. So Van Geen still needs to find at least another half a second yet, I think, to be completely satisfied. And so yeah, we've seen two 1:59s now. So Power still in the pits. I'm still looking to see Power come out the pit lane. Yeah, he's still he's only just got into the 2 minute bracket. So still waiting for Power to try a low fuel run, but as we see, Robbo Baggins now started his flying lap, so he'll want to better his lap time, but also he wants to be ahead of Maverick, as Maverick put in that stunning lap of a 1:59.8, and Maverick I watched his lap the whole way around and he was super smooth. I didn't see any real mistakes there, probably one or two slight rear end moments, but nothing too major that weren't ever going to lose him too much time. And he's gone straight off as the camera decides to pan back to Robbo Baggins. He's got damage on the front end as well, so he's really pushing hard. He's gone straight back out again. So yeah, he was really pushing hard there to try and better his time, but before the camera sorted itself out, he was off in the barriers. As Simon continues on, 20 litres on board for Simon there, and 13 laps deep now. 203s, continuing 203s. Hold it steady. Very well hold there from Simon. Very well held. So Simon's finding that rear end still a bit of a mess, but they all are, as Danny said, as Maverick said in his onboard, that the track was really slippery to start with, which is what I noticed when they all came out to start off their lap. As Kyle Power, as Power Pog here, he's gone out with I'm not sure why it switches to Maverick here, so there's nothing I can do about this. It just keeps switching to Maverick at this point, but we do miss the exit to the corner for this track, so maybe to this corner here for the drivers that I want to see. So Power Pog on 13 litres, so he'll definitely be wanting to try and set a 59 here, and I don't believe, I may be corrected, but I don't believe Power Pog has had a 59 yet. I believe he's still in the 2-minute bracket. I could be wrong, but I think he hasn't set a lap time of a 59 as yet, but this could change. He's on low fuel run now, and we will see what happens. But again, this is only practice. I don't want to get too excited or too worked up about this, but it is good to see these lap times so close. Between these drivers, we had in the last practice session, I think we had nearly 12 drivers in, and from the top to the bottom, I think there was 3 seconds separating the whole field. So it's good to see the field so close. And Online Racing Network will bring you that on the 28th of May, round 2 of our GT3 Championship. And I believe there is 10 rounds in our championship as well. So Project 4 holds 10 rounds of the championship, and we will bring you hopefully as many of those rounds live for you as they happen. As Kyle Power starts his, I keep using their first name, so apologies for that. I know this bloke very well. So Power Pog comes around the first corner, very smooth there. And Maverick will be watching this with intent to try and see what he's doing. So I know Maverick will be watching this on his stream to see if he can pick up any tips, see where he's quick. As he goes very deep, Power goes very deep into the corner there, and I think he's lost a lot of time there, as behind Simon. Nice little spin round there from Simon, but I think Power lost a lot of time into that first sector there. Don't seem to be getting his sector times up at the moment. We'll stay on board here because they do have a little dash, these Lamborghinis, a little dash just on the bottom right hand side above the race feed. You might just see now and again what he's on, and you can see sometimes whether he's up or down in his sector times. You can usually see through sector 3 with these Lamborghinis, because it goes uphill, you can see their sector time, so that does help me out a bit. When you go on board, you can see how quick they're going, and you'll probably see it just about now. There we go. So he is up, and now he's down. He's only down by a tenth of a second. So Power not finding the pace that he really wants at the moment. Let's just see how he gets on with the final sector here. I don't think he's going to beat in a 150, getting close at the moment. 2:04, so that's a great lap time from Power, actually, considering his first sector. I think he will get very close to it. I think he'll get very close to a 59, because his first sector, he did mess that up a little bit. So I think, considering the lap that I saw from Power, I think he will. I think he might just crack it as well. But we'll just go on board with this cockpit view here at the moment and just go through this first sector on cockpit cam. He's gone wide, hit the grass. That's a shame. That's a shame. I think he may have bought that lap. That won't be a 59. Yeah, he's aborted the lap. Okay, so everyone really pushing now. I think Robbo Baggins has gone back out on track now. Again with low fuel. I think he wants to beat Danny there. We've got Van Gien on track here now. Van Gien with 72 litres on board. And Simon with 30 litres on board as well. Okay. Let's have a look at Van Gien. See how we're getting on. He goes a bit wide, coming up the hill there. And timings wise, what we're looking at. So yeah, he's done his out lap. I think this may even be his hot lap. I think it is his hot lap. Yeah. So he's made a couple of little errors since I've seen him, but it might still be good enough. I've not seen the start of his lap, so we'll have a quick keen look and see what he's done here. 2:04 flat, so good lap time there on race fuel again. We've still not seen Van Gien on low fuel, but obviously he's just trying to set his car up to how he likes, but he's looking like he's got so much more grip now than when he first started out. The car is nowhere near as twitchy as it was, so it is really looking planted now, actually. It looks good. It looks very good. So we'll just stay on board here. A bit more from Alex. Very wide on the curbs there. Downhill section here, very fast section, easy to get it wrong into this braking zone here. Easy to go wide and on the AstroTurf. I think he had to lift off a little bit more than he wanted to there, Alex, but kept it under control. Touched the grass, I think that's going to spit him off wide. Yeah, he's on the gravel when he's hit the barriers, that's such a shame. And a 720 pirouette there for the cameras. That's he was going well, but he has got the pace, but I think he's just pushing just that little bit too hard where he just goes out wide. And we've seen, not just from Alex, we've seen loads of people do that at the moment, as we see Robbo Baggins on light fuel and he's just started his flying lap now. Who's that behind? I think that's Simon behind there. And that's a very nice line there from Robbo, and Simon takes a very nice line through there as well, nice and tight, and then swings out wide and gets a really good drive down this hill. Yeah, Robbo Baggins is on his fast lap now, so he's done his out lap, and so Simon's also on his fast lap. As someone's coming across the line now. So that's also Power Pog. Power Pog's just starting his fast lap now. So we'll switch back to Power Pog after we've seen this lap from Robbo. We'll catch the remaining half of the lap from Power Pog after this. With under 1 hour to go. There's only 57 minutes now left, so Robbo will be the first one to cross the line. Then it'll be Simon. Then Alex, and then Power Pog. So we'll catch all those drivers' laps as they come in. See if there's any improvements. Oh, he's gone very wide, nearly lost the back end there. I think he's given up on the lap. Yeah. Oh, that was such a shame. I think it was on a fast lap there, so that was coming up that dreaded just before the hill there. That curb is going to cause some real issues for people, I think, as we're now focusing on Simon. Oh, hit the cones. Nice bit of conage there, and I think he's lost the back end. Very well held there from Simon. I'm not sure that's going to be an improvement from Simon's lap time. 2:06.3. So we'll switch over to Power Pog now and see how we're getting on with Power Pog. Apologies, Alex Van Gien will be the next one to cross the line. So I think he's just warming his tyres up. He's ready for another lap, and he will be going out on heavy fuel again. So we'll just finish off watching Power's lap. See if Power can make any improvements on his 2:04. Maverick still in the pit lane, eager to see if anyone's going to beat his lap time of 59.8. I'm not sure Robbo's got anything left to beat his 59.9, because that was a special lap there from Robbo. But what can Kyle Powell do? What can Power Pog do here? 201.5, so that's a second down on what he... Oh, see, this is the second session I've done this. There's me thinking he's doing a 59 lap, but he's on race fuel. Okay, so he was never going to get a 59, not with race fuel. So that, in fact, was a very good lap time for race fuel, 201.5. Okay, so concentrating on Alex Van Gien now. He's finished the first sector. Coming through the sector where he just messed up before and hit the wall, but it seems like he's gone to plan this time. Not running too wide this time either, which is just a bit too wide actually, but nothing on the grass. As soon as you drop them two wheels on the grass, you've had it. But he's looking like he's got a lot of grip now with this Ginetta. He's right on board with Alex and get an onboard shot. Pulsing the throttle through the right hander there, trying to find out when you can bolt, but I still think there's probably just a tenth or two to be made up in that last sector there before the hill. He's got good power up this hill. That car just kicks you in the back, gets you up that hill. Seems like it's a lot faster up that hill than a lot of other cars, but maybe I'm wrong. It just looks like it from this camera view as Alex goes across the line, nearly beating his best lap. 2 minutes 3.2 that lap, so that's a great heavy fuel run there. It's good pace, it's very good pace actually for a heavy fuel run. He sets off on another lap there, using all the curb on the left, down into the dredge of turn 3, where everyone's really been getting it wrong. He brakes very late, but that's obviously where the Ginettas can brake. So 2 tenths down on his best sector, but that was sorry, 2 tenths down on the ultimate best lap. That is, that's 2 tenths down on the ultimate best lap. He's 0.08 on up on his best lap time. He's gone very wide, very wide. That won't be a better lap from Alex, but yeah, he was 2 tenths down on the 1:59 lap time there on race fuel. So that Ginetta's looking very handy in sector 1. It does look like Alex can brake extremely late for turn 3 there compared to others, so that might be a really good opportunity for Van Gien to do some overtaking during the race into turn 3. If he can get on those brakes hard and heavy, might just be able to surprise a few people down the inside early doors of the race. As we see Maverick is back out on track with 11 litres on board. Is he going to improve once again? Surely not. He won't improve on a 59.8. We also have Robbo Baggins. He's coming around the last sector. I think this is his fast lap. Apologies for not bringing you his fast lap here. Yeah, he's out on his fast lap now. Is he going to improve on a 59.9? 59.870 from Robbo Baggins. He is half a tenth slower than Maverick at the moment, and that's a fantastic lap time there from Robbo Baggins. That's a great lap. Apologies for not bringing you that entire lap there, but that was a very fast lap. 59.8. These lap times are dropping now. I mean, will we see 59.5s in qualifying? Because that was impressive stuff there from Robbo, and great lap time there from Carl as well on heavy fuel of a 201.2. And Kyle's going to save his light fuel runs till the end there, I think. Simon's still in the pit lane at the moment. Alex Van Gien on the track has taken a trip across the grass in turn 4, I believe that is. And so Kyle is on another race lap. And we'll keep an eye on Danny Henny as he comes round to start his flying lap. I just want to yeah, he's starting it now. So we'll keep an eye. Someone's just coming out the pit lane now. Be careful coming out the pits, whoever that is. I think you'll just miss him. That's fine. So Danny Henny's starting his Maverick. Got to try and stop using these first names. Maverick on his flying lap now. And we will go on board with Maverick for the final sector, because we can gauge how far up the road he is with his on-dash display. How many tenths of a second he's up? He's already up 0.152, so he's up 1.5 tenths at the moment. He looks super fast, doesn't he? He really does look fast. Oh, he's on the curbs, getting very, very twitchy there. Personally, I think this is probably one of the most ugliest paint jobs you'll see on a GT3 car. Personally, I don't like it. I think it's very, very suspect. But yeah, he's actually he's quit this lap. He's not going for another lap now. So he's gonna cool the car down, then wind it back up for another lap, I should think there. So as we see Robbo Baggins recovering from that great lap time of 1:59.8, still not quite pipping Maverick there, but I think yeah, he's quarter throttle at the moment. So is he out on his out lap? Let's just double check. I think he's out on his out lap. I think he's probably going to save his set of tyres, and then he's going to absolutely, yeah, he's 1 minute, unless he's just cruising back to the pit lane and just taking a breather after that superior lap he's just done. He might just pull it into the pit lane after this, or he might just blast it and go for another lap. We will see as Simon's in the pit lane, and we have Van Gien, Power, Robbo and Maverick on track at the moment. We'll just keep an eye on Robbo Baggins, see if he winds up. Yeah, he's winding up to start another lap now, so he's got 7 litres on board. Let's keep an eye on Robbo Baggins. We know Power is on heavy fuel load, so he'll be doing another heavy fuel load run. We know Van Gien's just come back out of the pit lane, so he'll be on his out lap, and we know Maverick is also on a flying lap, so we will keep an eye on Maverick. We'll switch to Maverick just to see him cross the line, but we'll just stay with Robbo Baggins just for now. See how he gets on through this first and second sector. Bit of a glitch with the timing at the moment. Switch back to Robbo any second now. There we go. So he's looking really smooth through there at the moment. I believe Maverick's just coming through up to the last corners now, up the hill. I think that's Maverick. Robbo's looking so smooth. It's absolutely on rails, that Ginetta at the moment. So it looks like Maverick's half a second down on his best lap at the moment. As Robbo Baggins comes through to finish off sector 2. Downhill right-hander, which can really catch people out if you're too late on the brakes there. That'll catch you out and send you off. Let's just quick look at the timing screen, see what people are doing. So everyone's out. Danny's just done a 2:02. Everyone's out on their out laps, I think, apart from Simon and Danny. As we see Robbo Baggins coming through the final corners now to try and beat his 59.8 and try and beat Danny's 59.8. He needs a 59.7 really. Has he done it? I think he's done it. He's done a 59.6. Wow! 59.6. Have some of that. Robbo Baggins has officially laid down his marker. I'm the man to beat. Wow. That is a fast lap time. So Robbo Baggins has now left the session and said, I've had enough. So a 59.687 from Robbo Baggins. That's a fantastic lap there with 45 minutes left of this session. So we now see Maverick with only 1.7 litres on board. So he's possibly going to run out of fuel towards the end of this lap here. I'm not sure if he should be able to finish this lap off. Power's just in front, still working on his... No, he's got light fuel loads in now, so maybe Power's on his lap, so maybe we should just keep an eye on Power at the moment. Let's just have a quick peek at the timers here. So yeah, this is Power's fast lap, so I didn't bring you the start of it. I didn't realise he was on light fuel load, so apologies for that, but we are going to catch the end of his lap now, as Danny Maverick looks like he's run out of fuel, and Power has got a 59.6 to be Robbo Baggins, not Robo, Robocop, and 0.7 down on the best lap. Is that a better lap for Power? It's not. It's a 201.2, so maybe he messed up his lap there somewhere just a bit. I think Van Geen's also out on a hot lap. Or has Van Geen just come out of the pits? He's still working on his heavy fuel pace here. So Van Geen leaving it late to put in a qualifying lap, but he did join about an hour late. So he's just playing catch up a little bit at the moment. So we've really seen... ooh, he's gone deep there. Back end looked like that was about to spit him round. So we have seen a couple of 59s now. So we didn't see any 59s the last session, and now we've gone deep into the 59s with a 59.6, which was much faster than what I expected to see today, at least. Anyway, I expected to see that in qualifying. So I think pole position will probably be a 59.5 to a 59.4, probably. That's what I'm expecting. Not long now till round 2. Again, Project 4 holding round 2 of their championship on the 28th of March. And it'll be a really interesting watch. 16 cars on the grid. Fully packed out for that one. As Van Geen crosses the line with a 205.0. And Power comes across the line. 2:03, so it's an improvement on Power's lap time. Still not quite finding what he wants. He knows that that's still not going to be enough. It will probably be good enough for 4th, maybe 3rd place at this rate on the grid as Power retires to the pit lane. And Van Geen's the only one on track now. Still working on his heavy fuel run as Power left the session. So Power's probably his race pace is looking really good. Power Pog's race pace is looking good. So I'm not sure he'll be too fussed if he sees a couple of cars going a bit quicker than him, because we've seen his race pace and it's very, very good. So be interesting to see. I mean, this race is really going to play out 2 ways, I think. You'll probably see the Ginettas surprise everyone in the race and pull out a nice gap at the front, or you'll see the Ginettas on the front row of the grid and then just drop back through the race due to race pace. But judging through Robbo Baggins' pace earlier, I saw on the race pace, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think there'll be 3 cars that will be 3 different manufacturer cars that will be up the front. Judging for what I've seen, I think it'll probably be the Ginettas, the Porsche, and the Lamborghini's near the front of the pack, which will be really good because it's good to see so many different variants of cars and different strengths of cars at each track. The Ginetta was almost nowhere at Circuit Americas in round 1, but now all of a sudden it's looking like it's one of the cars to definitely beat, which is really good. So you can never really tell what car's going to work where and where it's going to be strong. So 40 minutes left of the session. Van Geen's still on heavy fuel load there. He's got 65 litres on board. Maverick's gone back out on circuit. He's got 13 litres on board. And I believe he's probably going to try and beat this 59.687, which we've seen from Robbo Baggins. Maverick comes around now to start another flying lap. Very good line there through turn 1. Starting extremely wide there. Cutting in to touch that apex on the inside. You obviously leave yourself very open to overtaking moves if you go that wide. But it's the line to be. It's the line to take. You know, he's touched the curb. It's just sent him round there. Nearly sent him round. Horrible. What can happen if you get on the curbs? Because for some reason this game doesn't like curbs. These cars don't like curbs on this game, should I say? As I experienced. And he's on the curbs again, but it seemed to have pulled him round nicely there. Unsure where he is on sector times, because no sector times are coming up once again, but that's okay. Stay with it. Only 3 drivers left in this session now. If we have all 3 lead the session, then we'll cut the broadcast short, as it is only practice, as we say. Through the final corner. I have a feeling it's not going to be a better lap than 59.8 due to that turn 4 incident he had where he hit the curbs hard. Half a second down from Robbo's time. Half a second down from his own time as well. 2:04 that one. So nowhere near the lap time he wants for this. So he'll probably just go around, try again. So we have Simon back on the track after a long stint in the pit lanes. Simon's back out there. As I've switched back, sorry, I was having a little bit of a sip of my drink there as I switched back. Looked like Maverick made a bit of a mistake there, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure that this 59.6 is going to be broken because that was an extremely fast lap time. So Van Geen on the track now. Simon back on track. Let's ride on board with Simon. We've not seen much of Simon on board, so let's have a look at cockpit cam here. Simon running 30 litres of fuel. Alex Van Geen running 76 litres of fuel. And Maverick just coming out the pits again with 15 litres of fuel on board. So good to see they're all using different fuel strategies at the moment. So let's just stay on board with Simon. just gripped up in the middle of the corner there, and was a bit too long off the throttle, I think, where it just suddenly gripped up and pulled him in, and then he had to get back on the throttle to adjust it. So losing a bit of time there on turn 1. It's now really sunny out there. There really isn't any clouds in the sky, so it's really got sunny. So whether that's going to affect the cars in a negative way or even maybe a positive way, but I always think the hotter it is, the harder the cars have to work to cool the cars down, which means that they do handle a lot different to when it's cool conditions. So we may not see any improvement on lap times now. Some good smooth driving there from Simon. The back end seems to be a lot more stable now. Just missed the apex on the right hand side there for Simon, but he gets away with it. He's 2 tenths down on his best lap at the moment, I can see on his dash. That's a good line there through that sweeping right-hander. Now this tricky uphill section. Trying to avoid the curbs. Every time someone gets on those curves, I'm looking for the barrier, waiting for the car to be completely totaled. But he's 2 tenths down still, so he's looking good for a decent half race fuel run, let's say. Goes across the line with a 203.1 to his name as he takes a little off track just for good measure. As I believe Maverick is now on a flying lap. Also, we were right on board of Alex, because Alex Van Gien is actually on his race fuel lap as well, so he will cross the line before Maverick does. Or checking with Alex, see how he's getting on. He's taken that last corner, he's taken that last few corners before the hill, he's taking them a lot faster now, so he'll probably find a bit of time there. Van Gien's fastest lap time with a 2:03.0, and I believe that was on heavy fuel, and he goes across the line with a 2:03.0 once again, only fractions away from his ultimate best lap, so that's a great lap there from Van Gien. And I was about to say he's drifted wide, but he seems to have held it well, and brought that Ginetta and used the mechanical grip of that Ginetta to bring that front end in to correct that very small mistake. Be right on board of Maverick, who's 4 tenths down on his best lap, so I'm not sure he's going to beat this best lap this time round. With half an hour left of the session, and Maverick's on a 59.8, comes across the line. A 2-minute flat, so 2 tenths of a second off of his best lap time there. Simon's back in the pit lane. As Alex Van Gien sets on his way for another heavy fuel lap as he's going extremely deep into that corner there. The back end's all over the place. He's doing a bit of drifting. There's a lovely drift there from Van Gien. We like a bit of drifting now and again. And that was nice. That was very nice. Well held there from Van Gien. So, but their rear tyres are going to be very hot now. So he'll find that he's going to have next to no grip on the rear at the moment, as he's flashing his lights once again, letting us know he's there. So I've not seen Van Gien run any low fuel loads at the moment, so he's obviously still just testing a couple of things out on his heavy fuel. I think we first saw him go out with the way as he goes around. I think we first saw him go out with 90 odd litres on board, so I think that was possibly a bit too much fuel, but I'm not entirely sure how much these drivers will be running for the whole entire race, but it does seem like all the other drivers are going out on a lot less fuel than 90 litres, as Maverick is he's actually up on his best lap time here. Let's just try and get a quick cockpit view. He's 0.25 off of his best lap time, but I believe that was the fastest sector we've seen tonight in that particular sector. So let's just see what he comes across the line. He's going to do a 59, but I don't think it's going to be 59.6. It's a 59.608. Wow, so that's 0.08 faster than Robbo Baggins. So that's a fantastic lap time there from Maverick. We knew he had the pace. He knew he had the pace. It was just hooking those sectors up, hooking all those corners up. So we're now looking at mid-59s for qualifying pace here. So as I said, I think a mid-59, 59.5 to a 59.4, I think you may see that as pole time, as he's 1/10 down on his best lap. But he'll continue on. Nope, he's pulling over. So fantastic lap there from Maverick with a 59.6. So that was impressive, as Simon Alex nose to tail coming out the pit lane. Alex in the red Ginetta, Simon in the silver, black and green Audi. Alex now on 15 litres of fuel as we ride with Alex Van Gene, warming his tyres up. Just behind him we have Simon on 70 litres of fuel. So Simon's now running 70 litres. So Simon will be on a little race lap, as Van Gene is going round to test out his qualifying pace. Now what Van Gene needs to do, really, let's have a look. He needs, his best lap is a 2:03.0 on heavy fuel. He really needs to be a 2-minute 2 flat to a 2-minute 1.9 to 2-minute 1.8 if he wants anywhere near top 6, I would say, or top 7 drivers. I would say he needs to be in it, because Simon behind him has done a 2-minute 1.6 on low fuel. So Van Gene needs to be mid 2-minute 1s on low fuel. So let's see what he can do here to see if he can pull out a 1.5 seconds. He needs a 1.5 seconds on his heavy fuel run pace. So we'll stay with Alex now for this lap, see if he can pull something out the bag here. We've now 28 minutes left this session. Such a different line to Simon behind him there, but it works. It works for them both. Coming into turn 3 now, we've seen a lot of people spinning a lot deep. So hard on those brakes, Alex. He carries so much speed into that corner. Look at the different lines they take as well. It's impressive. It's good to see so many different lines around this circuit, working for different drivers and their driving styles. You think someone's going wide when actually that's their line. It's impressive stuff, but Van Gene's looking really smooth at the moment here. It's looking like a really good lap for him. It's half the lap gone. Let's just ride on board and have a look at his cockpit and see if he's up or down. He's up by nearly 0.6 of a second, so he's definitely on par for a 2:02. Can he pull out a lot? That last bit from the last sector, and then he could possibly pop in a 2:01. 2:01 is really where he wants to be for low fuel run pace. Very tricky down here. He's missed the apex massively there, but I'm not sure he's going to mind too much. It's still quite a very good lap. Oh, he's turning it just a little bit too early there. Gets away with it. nearly a second. He's 0.99 of a second up, so he needs to get across this line. He needs a 2:01 in his back pocket. This could possibly put a 2:01.9 under his name. Let's see what he can do. 2:01.3, wow! Great lap there from Van Gien. That was actually a lot faster than I was expecting. I was expecting him just to scrape a 2:01 there. But I did say you need a mid 2:01 because Simon's doing 2:01.6s. So if you want to be anywhere near Simon's top 5 to top 6 pace. And he pops in a 2:01.3. So that's a great lap from Jeans there. So absolutely brilliant stuff there. So I think if he really looked at it, he's now looking that maybe he could find a 2-minute flat 0.9. If he can do that, Simon takes a little pirouette in the background there. I think if he thinks about it, he could be looking at a 2-minute lap here. And if he can get a 2-minute lap round here, then that's going to be very good for Van Gien here. He's slowing down now, so whether he's just winding up to make another lap or whether he's just going to retire to the pits and put some fresh rubber on that car, we will see as all drivers are on track. I say all drivers, only 3 drivers left. 25 minutes left of the session. Maverick sitting nicely on a 1:59.6, a mega lap time. We have Van Gien on a 2-minute 1.387 and Simon on a 2-minute 1.653. So only 3 tenths, less than 3 tenths back. We have Simon behind Van Gien. As I will just stick with Alex for the start of his next flying lap. As he takes a look at the grass, see if the grass is still there. I believe he might just go off on another lap here, unless he pulls into the pit lane. No, he's going for another lap. So we'll watch this lap with Van Gien as the other 2 are on their out laps at the moment, so there's not much to see there just yet, so we will stay on board with Alex. So deep on the brakes. It's gone a bit wide there, but that's okay. Not a problem. Keep it pinned. Use all the curbs. Really stamp on those brakes. Impressive. It's 2 tenths down on his best lap time so far, so he's lost 2 tenths somewhere. I think that was probably turn 1. From our camera view, his bonnet's a bit bashed up, but I think on Van Gien's screen it's not a problem. Lovely use of the curbs there. Oh, he's going to go a bit deep here. He's taking a very tight line into that corner there. That's the lap brakes. Front just washed away slightly there. Bit of a shame. Still 22 minutes left, so still time to get another lap in if he wants to. And probably still time to do one more lap even on this set of tyres, because these tyres will still be fairly decent. He's not had any major offs or anything. He's looking much more confident now in this car, so it's good to see. Let's just see where Maverick is, as I believe Maverick is on his fast lap. Yep, Maverick is just through sector 1, just about to finish sector 2 now, coming up the hill. We'll see, he wants to improve on this time now. Don't see why not. He's blowing the opposition away at the moment with that 59.6, but obviously he feels there's still something more to come. Let's quickly jump in cockpit, see if he's up or down. He's down at the moment by quite a bit, so maybe he's just going to take another lap after this. He's 1.3 seconds down at the moment, so this definitely won't be a faster lap time, but he might just wind up to take one more lap. 20 minutes remaining. Sector 1. 1/10 down on his first sector there, so I think ultimate pace wise, I think you're going to see 59.5s. I think qualifying. I'm certainly looking forward to this because we had one driver leave in a bit of frustration as we get a bit of neutral handling, a bit of drifting there from Maverick. We had one driver leave the session, a bit upset with his car tonight, a bit upset with the settings and everything just seemed to go a little bit wrong. So I hope we see him back up there in his car, because we do need his car on that grid, because it's an interesting selection. I'm not going to name the driver, but I do think that this is an extremely tricky track because there's so many off-camber moments, there's so many uphill, downhill moments on this track. Blind corners, horrible sausage curbs in some places. It looks so simple when you're looking at a bird's eye view of this circuit, but actually it's really tough. It's not bumpy as such, it's just got a very high levels of altitude, and then it drops quite substantially in one sector, which throws all aerodynamics off and makes the car very twitchy as Danny goes across the line. 1/10 down, just under 2/10 down on his best lap, 1:59.7, so still a very fast lap time there from Maverick. He's setting off to do yet another lap. He's probably sweating so much at the moment. It's been so hot today. He's nearly 3 hours now of pumping these laps out round it. He's done 27 laps altogether. Alex Van Geen's done 24 laps. And Simon's done 20 laps. The pace of this Lamborghini is incredible though. It's a really fast GT3 selection. One driver we've not seen though, who I'd like to see, is a driver that we have at Project 4, and he goes by the name of Pantera. We've not seen him at all on this track, any testing or anything. He tends to come out and be very fast. He's driving the Renault RS, and that's also a very fast car. We've not seen that yet, so we do have to keep an eye out on him and a couple of others as well, which we've not seen massive amounts of testing from. We had a lot of drivers sign up for tonight which haven't turned up, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on race night. 28th of May, Project 4 are holding round 2, and it'll be held here at Brno. 8 o'clock at night, British time, and Online Racing Network will bring you that live with commentary all through the night, through practice, half an hour practice, then they run a quarter of an hour qualifying session, and then they will grid up for their 1 hour race. And we'll bring you that entire evening of racing for round 2. Simon here, he's running very low fuel loads now, so Simon has done a lot of heavy fuel runs, so he'll be looking to go out there beating Alex Van Geen. I believe Alex has just left the pit lane as well, as I can see on my screen. Alex has now left the pit lane, and he will be running low fuel loads, I'm guessing. Yes, he's running he's now got 8.3 litres on board, so he probably left with about 9 litres or 8.5 litres or so on board. as Maverick retires to the pit lane. We now have Alex and Simon on track with only 15 minutes remaining. Simon looks very quick on low fuel load here, so he's seen Alex go across the line with a 2:01.3 on his last flying lap out, so Simon will definitely want to beat Alex on this occasion. And Simon had some great pace at Circuit of the Americas, as he's just got the last corner wrong, and it's just messed his lap up, and it's going to mess the next lap up for him as well. That's such a shame. That was looking fast from Simon. Alex Van Gien just warming his car up, ready to start his lap as he's gone across the grass quite handsomely there, and he'll want to get that grass off his tyres before he starts his flying lap. So there we go, he's winding up to start his fast lap now. Round the last corner, good sweep out the last corner there. Into turn one, hugging that apex. That's a good line through there. That's a fast line. He's unfortunately gone straight across the gravel there, so already within 10 seconds. His flying lap is ruined. So we have Simon. We'll just switch back to Simon now. Alex is going to be taking a lap to sort his tyres out. Simon's now on a hot lap, but I think his lap was compromised slightly from the exit of his previous lap, where he's hit the curb and it's just sent him slightly wayward, which did mess his lap up at the start. But it's nothing, not to say that this is not going to be a good lap. I just don't think it will be his best lap. Maverick comes around to start his flying lap, and Simon's about to finish his lap. Simon across the line with a 2-minute 2.4. Yeah, so that the exit of the last corner there hampered him quite a bit in his lap times there, but he's now setting off to do another lap, so let's hope he can get this 2:01.3, because Alex Van Gien sitting comfortably on a 2:01.3 for Alex's first low flying lap. It was a very good lap from Alex there, so Alex will be looking at trying to set a 2-minute flat lap time. That's what he will be looking at to do, as we have Maverick on another flying lap here, with race fuel in. So Maverick's got race fuel in now, so we'll keep an eye on his race pace, see what he can do. So let's go back to Van Gien, see what Van Gien's up to. He's starting his flying lap now, so can he get turn one right this time? Last time he took the line perfectly, but just drifted out wide and hit that gravel, so hopefully this time he can get it right. So he takes a very tight line, starts off by hugging this apex. That's better. And then floors it, clips the apex of the second corner there, and then he brakes extremely late for this corner here. Just a bit too late though. I think he's lost a bit of time there over the sausage curb. Yeah, that was all down to braking just a bit too late for turn 3, and that's effectively ended his chance of bettering his 2-minute 1.3. If he can get better than a 2:01.3 now, no, he knows it as well. That's he's straight back in the pits as Maverick crosses the line with a 2:01 flat. So this is a race pace from Maverick with 10 minutes remaining of the session. So we'll keep an eye on his race pace times. Oof, Simon using a lot of curb there from Simon. And he reminded myself he's only got 3 litres of fuel on board, so this would definitely be his final lap. He's 2/10 down on ultimate pace. Oh, such a shame. He was only 0.07 up. 0.07 down from his best lap time of a 2:01.6 there. So it's a shame there for Simon, just drifting a little bit wide. So we've just got Maverick on the track now with race fuel on board. He is running 73.4 litres, so yeah, he's got race fuel. Let's just switch to track side so we're not looking through a broken windscreen. And his last lap on race fuel was a 2:01.0, so some good lap times coming in there from Maverick, Robbo, and Power Pog. We've seen 2:01 to 2:02 lap times. Stelio Canto was also doing 2:02 lap times on heavy fuel load, but he seemed to struggle just a tad with his setup tonight. Didn't really see any low fuel runs from Stelio, and when we did, I think it was just a bit of a lack of grip on the circuit which stopped Stelio putting any sort of sub 2-minute lap times in, but I'm sure we'll see that from him on the night. He's a very fast driver, so we'll see some good lap times, no doubt, from all these drivers coming out on the 28th of May. Simon's back out on track now. 8 minutes remaining. Just keep an eye on Maverick though, as he's gone round. His last lap was a 2:07 on his last race fuel lap, so incredibly fast actually for race fuel. 30 laps now he's done, 2 minutes flat, 0.7. So if he can keep it in a straight line for 1 hour, it's tricky. I don't want to say he looks like the man to beat, because the last session I said Power Pog was the last man to beat, but I think it's changed slightly now, because I think Maverick, Robbo, and you can never count out Stelio, and also Pantera, who we've not seen, and Tigger. In fact, that's probably half the field I've just mentioned there. So that's why I'm so excited to watch this race, because we've got some really fast drivers that haven't shown their faces yet. So and as I say, there's going to be 16 drivers on the grid, so it's going to be a fully packed out grid. Should be an interesting race for sure. 7 minutes remaining of this session. Everyone's on track. I think everyone will probably get 3 more laps in. They'll have an out lap and probably 3 fast laps, maybe 2 fast laps. But I think if you're going to do a low fuel run, if you want to do any low fuel runs, then you need to be doing it now, because you need an out lap and a couple of fast laps, fast low fuel run laps. So we're going to have Simon starting his 21 litre fuel run. So Simon not keen on trying any lower than that at the moment. Where's Alex? There we go, taking it easy, going up the hill. Van Gien is running some mere 9 litres on board. So he's coming around the final corner now. He's going to take a good sweep onto the front straight to start another flying lap. He's trying to try and get this sub 2 minute lap. Sub 2 minute 1 lap. He wants to get a 2 minute lap. He needs a 2 minute lap to really That's a different line. I've not seen Alex take that line before. Maybe trying something new. He's going to go wide though. He's on the Astro. That's not a line that Alex is used to, not a line that he likes. No. Just dropped a wheel on the grass there. He's lucky to hold on to that one. Let's just ride on in cockpit cam to see where he's up to. He's 2/10 down on his best lap time so far. So the first sector, definitely turn 1 and turn 3 really hampered him a bit there. If he can, if he can just get the turn 1 and turn 3 correct, I think the rest of the lap he'll be fine, and he can nail that sub 2 minute lap. But sorry, not sub. I keep saying sub 2 minute. A 2 minute lap. If you nail a sub 2 minute lap, fantastic. You never know, but I think we need to concentrate on getting a 2 minute out of this one so far. But 0.27 seconds down at the moment for Alex Van Gien. Coming up to finish sector 2. Are we up or down? Can't quite see at the moment. We are, oh, we're about the same. So we've lost overall in the lap. We've probably lost about 0.3 of a second. So let's just see if he can make it up in the final corners now. And the car's looking a little bit battered at the moment, but that won't matter. As I say, on my screen it looks battered. On Alex's screen it will look absolutely fine. Just going wide. He had to lift off a couple more times than he wanted to there, so he won't be setting the world alight with this lap time, but it will be good enough for a 2:01.5 at the moment. So yeah, 2/10 down. He'll go along to try and set another lap time now. Taking his usual line now, nice and tight. That's better. First corner, much better. Into the heavy braking zone of turn 3. That's better. Yep, that was better than last lap for sure. So hopefully he's found the 0.3 that he dropped on the last lap. Maybe he's got this back now. Yep, he's 0.09 off his best, so he has found a little bit of pace there compared to his last lap. Come round avoiding these horrible curves on the right hand side, and as I said that, he was on those curves that I said that were horrible, and it's just dropped a wheel on the grass there, and that's hit those horrible tyres. I said it as soon as I saw it, those tyres are absolutely horrible. These curbs are horrible. Simon comes across the line, 2:08.8, so Simon will be setting off on a faster lap this time round. 15 litres on board for Simon now. And Maverick's coming round. What's he going to set? 2 minute point 1. And that's with low fuel, so he's got one more chance now. He's got one more chance. I think he could probably get 2 more laps in if fuel permits. He could probably get 2 more laps in. He crossed the line with 2 minutes 25 left, so it takes 2 minutes to get round this track. So I think they've all got another chance. Van Gien's definitely got another chance for one more lap. So Van Gien's got a chance for a lap. Simon's got a chance for another lap. They've all got a chance for one more lap, I think. So yeah, Maverick really pushing hard here, using all the curbs and all the grass. He's backed off. I think that's going to be it for Maverick. Yep, that's it. So Maverick ends up on a 1:59.608. That is the fastest lap time we have seen, and rightly so. Maverick has left the session. He's got nothing left to give, and that was a good lot of testing there from Maverick. So concentrating on the last minute now for Alex Van Gien and Simon. seeing if Alex can do this elusive 2-minute lap time that he really wants. So here we go, we've got 55 seconds. They'll all cross the line now for one more lap. This is the one for both of them now. I'll try and keep them both in shot. Lovely line there from Alex. And also great line there from Simon as well. So some good grip out there now. It's looking very, very smooth from both drivers now. Simon in the background getting a bit loose, getting on the curbs. Practice is now over, session complete. They're both looking very fast out there actually. Stay off those curbs, he's off them this time. He doesn't want us to repeat of what happened last time. Those tyres are gone. Alex using all the curbs there, getting a bit wide, get off those curbs. Simon again looking very fast to behind him. Oh, he's just going a bit wide. Holds on to it though. This is looking rather a clean lap there from Alex. Simon is running a bit more fuel. 10 litres actually, he's running about the same, probably 4 litres less. Giannetta's looking really grippy at the moment. So here we go. Can Alex get into the 2-minute bracket? Can Simon beat us 2:01.6? 2:01.5 for Alex Van Gien there. Practice session's over. I didn't quite get to see what that last session, that last time was there from Simon. Yes, so no one improved there on their lap times, but great session from everyone there. So yeah, some real pace being shown now, especially from the last session. The last session we had no one dropping into the 59s, and there was a lot of drivers still stuck in the 204s. So really impressed to see these drivers finding pace now. They'll bring that on race day. So the next session we host for Project 4. That's the end of the practice sessions, so we won't host any more live practice sessions for Project 4 with regards to round 2. So the next one we will host will be 28th. Yeah, it'll be the 28th of May for Project 4, and Online Racing Network will hold that for you, and we will bring you the practice, which is half an hour, qualifying, which is quarter of an hour, and the race will be 1 hour long. We'll start that at 8 o'clock. The racing will begin at around 8:30, so the lobby will be open for 8 o'clock, but the stream and commentary will begin from about 8 to 8:30 at night. So we will bring you that. We'll post links up on our Facebook page, Online Racing Network Facebook page, and we will see you then. So I hope you've all enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.